Hello. It's time for the Pooh Show. We've got some Packer victory to talk about. We got some plays to talk about. Ben starting it off right with a couple of technical difficulties. So he's in a bad mood already. But
Yep.
we got to be in a good mood, bro. Packers won, and not just won, but played one of the best games I've seen this Packers team play in quite some time, especially on offense.
Okay. Offense.
Because Ben, what did we see? What did we see from the Green Bay Packers offense in this game? Something we've been waiting for to get rid of the Rodgers play side piece of the play sheet. Just get that shit out of here. And let's focus on the good old Matt LaFleur plays. And it looked pretty good. Guys are running around, doing lots of motion. Looked almost like the 49ers out there. Almost like the 49ers.
The
Pretty
49ers
close.
can run. The 49ers can run the ball.
Hey, Packers ran it okay. 4.1 per carry for AJ Dillon. That's pretty good for him.
Yeah, AJ Dillon was good. I don't know about the Packers' run game in general.
Yeah, Patrick Taylor had some big runs.
He had a lucky run. He had a lucky run where the defense wasn't paying attention to him. Okay,
Still counts.
which led to no points.
It still counts.
Led to no points.
Well, yeah, but
because we had a penalty, of course.
I know.
And the reason why we had a penalty is because I just have to say something.
Go ahead. Is this a beef already or what? Are we?
It's not a total beef, but
Okay, fair enough.
when it gets to the 2-minute offense and guys have to stand and wait for other guys to get lined up and all this kind of stuff, and then Matt LaFleur calls a motion play where guys have to move in motion, that's just too long. It's too long for these young receivers to stand still for that long. Like they're impatient. They want to get going. And it's happened multiple times, especially with Jaden Reed, where he jumps a little early in the 2-minute situation where you got guys moving in motion, and it's just too confusing. When you get to the 2-minute situation, do the Aaron Rodgers offense. Okay? Just keep it simple, stupid during that point. Because we've had too many penalties in 2-minute offense at the end of the first half that have led to no points because we get out of field goal range when we're already in field goal range, and then we get a penalty and we're out of field goal range. It's happened in multiple games this year, and I blame Matt LaFleur for calling those type of dumb plays, or Jordan Love, whoever's doing it. Go back to what we did. Go back to what we did against the Saints in the fourth quarter, where it was just everybody lined up and then just go do something, and then we'll throw it to you. Do that to the 2-minute offense. That's what we did against the Saints. We came back and won. Do it some more. Sorry for being grumpy right away. But I'm just saying, that's something that I saw that bothered me because it's happened multiple times. Can we get over this crap, please, Matt LaFleur?
Well, I know you're grumpy, but I hear your wife laughing, like just giggling her butt off in the background. What's going on with that? Was she is Dad telling a bunch of jokes, or what's going on?
No, they're watching Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, whose line is it anyway? Well, it's
Wayne Brady.
Wayne
Brady going to have to slap a bitch or whatever he says in
Wayne Larrivee.
Dave Chappelle show. Not Wayne Larrivee. No, Wayne Larrivee sucks. I mean, he's great.
Hey, you can't insult your elders, the senior citizen. He's a senior citizen right now. Anyway,
you could combine Wayne Larrivee with the Mandarin, and you can go like this. And there is your dagger.
There you go.
Because the Mandarin says, "You'll never see me coming."
Is it the Mandarin or the Mandalorian? What are we talking about here?
No, it's the Mandarin.
Oh, what's the Mandarin? I thought that was like an orange.
Yeah.
So you have
it's an Iron Man villain.
Oh,
in the comics, who's of Asian descent.
Oh.
That they put him in the movie Iron Man 3, but they made him, played by Ben Kingsley, who is an Englishman who played Gandhi in the 80s. Therefore, he's not even, he can play Indian descent, but he can't play Asian descent. Everybody had a heart attack. Then it turned out, spoiler alert, that he wasn't really the Mandarin. He was just an actor called Trevor Thrachely or something, who was hired to pretend to be the Mandarin, and in reality, he's just some goofball actor who has no thing, and the real villain was somebody else.
Oh,
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen that by now, it's been freaking like 12 years. So
That's
get together.
is that Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3, yeah.
Okay, I missed that part. Maybe I didn't really watch Iron Man 3. I can't remember.
It
Anyway,
was like the best part of it, but everybody had a heart attack because they're like, "That's not the Mandarin." Yeah, well, what the heck's he doing? And it's like, listen, just tell a good, funny movie. It was funny. And freaking Ben Kingsley is the man. He's a very good actor. He's awesome.
he is. Yeah.
And he did a great job, and it's freaking awesome. So shut up and just enjoy the movie. I don't care if it's the Mandarin. Like you can't screw up Spider-Man. That'll piss people off.
Yeah.
But some second-tier villain, who cares? Just do whatever, and it's fine.
But they screwed up Spider-Man for years with Tobey Maguire. So I mean, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
And that grossed a lot of money. Weird.
That's because it was the first Spider-Man you ever saw on the screen, and it was like, dang, that's pretty cool. I watched it 75,000 times in a row. It's in Ben's top 10 movies I've seen 35 times or more.
He's so bad, though. He's so bad. Like
I know, but
he was much better. He was much better as an old Spider-Man in this last Spider-Man 3 here.
Yeah, but still, Andrew Garfield stole the show on that.
Well, I know, but
Andrew Garfield is the man.
But Tobey Maguire, that was the best. I think that's the best I've ever seen Tobey Maguire in any movie. Was that last one? Any movie?
Well, he's not good.
I understand.
Honestly, he's a terrible actor.
Yeah, right. I get it. But as an older, fatter version of Spider-Man, it was backwards.
He wasn't that fat.
He was better. Well, I mean,
he wasn't that fat.
He probably looks better than me in tights, but actually, maybe not. Do you know what I thought of? What I realized. No. This is before we get into the nitty gritty here and the gritty gritty of the show. And like Lee's here, JJ's here, and Dad's here already. Thank you guys for being here. Did you happen to catch AJ Dillon's shirtless interview after the game?
No.
Are you serious? You didn't see it? Freaking
no,
AJ Dillon goes out, no shirt on. And you compared him to Jerome Bettis the other week.
When he did the high step thing at the end, when they were playing against the Steelers, that was a Jerome Bettis move. I said he looked like a fatty Bettis, except he wasn't fat, is my exact words.
I don't know how he has such a big butt and such huge legs, and his body is like, his waist is like this, and then his shoulders, he's like a V. He's like,
yeah.
I mean, I thought I was looking in the mirror, to be honest. I really did. I was like,
that's enough. That's enough. Let's get on with the show.
It was pretty good, though.
Let's talk about the Packers' victory.
Hold on. Dad says best game they played this year. That's right. Best game they played in a couple years, Dad.
On offense.
Hello, everyone, says Lee. JJ's already
nobody cares.
Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake is, I haven't even thought of it. What do I think of him? Nothing. I think nothing.
It's not nothing. It's not much of anything, but that's okay. But it's all right. He's a guy on the team now.
The running game is no longer anything.
It's AJ Dillon time.
This is now Jordan Love time.
And AJ Dillon.
Jordan Love time. Jordan Love is now a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Did you hear about this?
Top 10.
That's what they say.
Well, Andy.
Jordan Love is like
Andy did a quick thing, like cycle through about which quarterback would you take, blah, 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 and all the teams.
Yeah, I was thinking we should do that too.
Well, maybe we could. And I'd have a few differences than what those guys said. Because
me too. I'd take Gardner Minshew.
That one guy like Kyler Murray, like what?
Kyler Murray sucks. I wouldn't take him over Jordan Love. I'd take Jordan Love for sure.
Somebody said Tim Boyle. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Okay,
anyway.
nobody said Tim Boyle.
All right. Tim Boyle's actually, and did you also hear the big news today before we
Tim
get
Boyle
into
got
Jordan
cut.
Tim Boyle did get cut yesterday. No, but the Rams have signed Mason Crosby.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
So Mason finally got the call. He can finally support his
on their practice squad.
Yeah, but he'll be there. He's all right.
He's on a practice squad. Let's get into the game. Oh, come on.
What did you think?
It's been a couple of days. So after the game, obviously it was exciting, but it was late. So, I was tired and old. So it's kind of hard to be excited after when you're old and tired. But
dude, screw you. I was excited. I was ready to go. I was ready to do a show right away. I was hopping and bumping and skipping and jumping. And I got to tell you right away, might as well get into this part. We'll save the beef for later. But what about your play of the game? What play got you all excited to say, "Oh yeah"?
Well, it was it's a play that I have video of later, so it's kind of hard to be.
Oh,
I
you
don't
got
want to
video?
give it away, but it was Keyshawn Nixon's pick, baby.
Keyshawn Nixon.
Because I thought, that's it, baby. It's over. We win.
You thought we win. So did me.
But then we end up giving the ball back to him like 2 more times after that, which made no sense.
Yeah, but in Anders we trust. In Anders we trust. Believe in Anders. Lee, has he turned you around? Sarah, has he turned you around?
But that was my oh yeah, because after that pick happened, I was like, holy smack and rollies. We're gonna win. Because before that, I was like, Patrick Mahomes is gonna go down and win.
Are you serious?
He's gonna beat us.
You really felt like that?
Dude.
Come on. Didn't Patrick Mahomes look a little kind of
no?
Not
Patrick Mahomes was good. His receivers are bad.
Well,
Travis Kelce looked old and slow, like he had too much. He's been hanging out with Taylor Swift instead of practicing.
Too many beaches and hanging out.
I don't know. He didn't look good. He looked slow and old. But when it comes to that whole thing, I mean, I thought Patrick Mahomes would come back and win.
I just thought Patrick Mahomes looked.
Keyshawn Nixon is awesome.
I thought Patrick Mahomes looked a little bit kind of, little out of it.
That's what he always looks. That's how he always
not
looks.
Dialed in. No, that's what you think.
That's what he looks like all the time.
Well, it's funny you talked about Keyshawn Nixon because that interception he had, Ben, was the first Packer interception since they traded Rasul Douglas away.
Well, I know. It's because nobody else can get interceptions.
Keyshawn. So Keyshawn had his big crazy interview after the game, right? Where he's talking craziness out on the field with Jordan Love, where he's like, "We're to go win. We're now going to win the number 1 seed in the Super Bowl." And I was like, "Hold on, I don't think you can get the number 1 seed, buddy. But let's just get to the playoffs. That's cool. That's cool." Jordan Love was a little more realistic in his take on what the Packers could do at this point of their season and their live being at 6-6. But they are in the playoffs. They started today. They are right there as the 6th seed and a dangerous 6th seed. But Keyshawn Nixon got interviewed after the game then too in the locker room, and he had a lot of good stuff to say. One thing I appreciate about Keyshawn Nixon is he answers stupid questions in a good way.
With a stupid answer.
No, he doesn't give a stupid answer. He's like, that's a stupid question. I'm just going to correct you and answer it the right way. So here's one of the questions. Then we'll get into this other thing he said, because I want to see your reaction if you didn't see this already. But here's Keyshawn Nixon after the game, post-game, when someone asked him a stupid question. Stupid question coming up right here. Oh, wait. Damn. I was queued it up, but it was in the wrong screen. Here we go.
We're a hell of a team right now.
How can you use this momentum going forward to boost y'all?
It's not about.
She's like, how can you use this momentum moving forward to boost y'all? And Keyshawn Nixon, watch his face.
How can you use this momentum going forward to boost y'all?
It's not about a boost. It's not even a momentum. We're just being us. You know what I'm saying? We knew we could do this all year, and we're doing it. That's all that matters.
So, momentum is a weird thing because a lot of people think it really matters, and a lot of people talk about it, and it can be real. But basically, what momentum in sports is, it's just kind of like confidence. It's like your confidence is really going, and you're basically letting stuff. You're no longer kind of trapped or restricted by your concerns or fears of failure or any of that sort of stuff. Like that's basically what momentum does. It just boosts your confidence, and then confidence keeps rolling. But if anybody's ever played any sport, you can understand, or even for a bunch of activities, right, that you do repetitively. If you're in the midst of one game, in this case football, one game, trying to carry that over to the next game or the next game, or that, there's no carryover. Everything is completely different. You have to get yourself charged up for the next game. You got to be ready. You got to be in there. You got to perform your best, and everybody's got to do it. And so, like for people who think, oh, now the Packers are on a hot streak and they're just going to carry it through. They got some winnable games up ahead, no doubt. But it doesn't mean it's going to look this good or look this clean. And there's no carryover for momentum. Really, it's not a real thing. That's something that people who didn't really play sports ask those dumb questions. And I like it when most athletes will go along with it and talk about it. But I like it when Keyshawn Nixon's just like, momentum. It ain't about that momentum. It's just about us playing the way we know we can play. So thank you, Keyshawn Nixon.
I actually disagree 100% with you.
You're full of crap. Why would you disagree?
And I will tell you why.
All right, let's hear it.
Keyshawn answered that question based on his own personal feelings.
Oh.
Keyshawn is one of the most confident dudes since he walked in the door last year. He had no reason to be confident. He'd never done it before, but he was like, I'm the man. I'm going to do it. So when somebody was like, hey, can this momentum build and have you guys carry it over? And he's like, what are you talking about? I know what I can do. He's talking as if like he's the whole team. I say on offense, this momentum can build for the confidence, as you said, which I do agree, the confidence of the young players on offense. The offensive skill position players and Jordan Love have this continued success built upon itself week after week after week. They've proven not only to their coaches, not only to the fans, but most importantly to themselves that they can do it over and over again. And I don't know if that was the case earlier in the year when they couldn't even get a gosh dang first down. So in that case, if that question was asked to Tucker Kraft or Dontavian Wicks or even Christian Watson, maybe the answer would be, yeah, we can carry this momentum forward because they have that confidence now and they have that momentum moving forward. Keyshawn always had the confidence. So this doesn't mean anything to him. He's like, well, I always had a confidence. I know what I'm doing. I'm the man. Because that's the way Keyshawn is. So each player is different, you know?
That's fair.
And that's how I think it is. So I mean, I agree. Yeah, some guys who've played know exactly what's going on and they believe in themselves and they can do it. And whether they have a good game or a bad game, it doesn't affect them. Like, I think it's also maybe a defensive thing compared to an offensive thing. Like Carrington Valentine, he thinks he's the man already. I mean, it's kind of he's like Jair Alexander, and I'm hoping he's a better than that. But he's doing the gritty after he pass interferes the guy so blatantly that it's ridiculous. Yet there he is celebrating over the top of him like he did something, and I'm like, dude, look out! But he's a confident guy too. And that's great because, to be quite honest, that's what we need for defensive players. We need these guys to just be like, I'm going out there, I'm going to make a play.
Hell yeah.
You get pass interference, whatever. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to make the play. And only one time they're going to call a pass interference on you or some kind of penalty. Where in offense, everything is precise. Everybody's got to be in the right spots. Everybody has to freaking know what the hell's going on and work together as a unit. And it's a little bit more momentum building. So I'm just going to say that. On offense, I think it's key. On defense, I think it's not as key. And these guys need to play better. Defense was the little bit of a problem in this game. Now, it had mostly to do with veteran players like Devondre Campbell, who looks like dog shit, and Kenny Clark, who apparently does nothing, and then the guy and Rashawn Gary runs around, falls down, gets back up, gets a sack, and Kenny Clark's standing there, and then Kenny Clark goes and celebrates like he got the sack. And I'm like, Kenny Clark, you didn't do shit.
You got half a sack on that one, I think.
I don't know how he did because he didn't do anything. Rashawn Gary ran around, fell on the ground, got back up, and then sacked him. And Kenny Clark didn't do anything. Like he was literally just standing there. And then he went and celebrated like he did it all. And I'm like, you didn't even do anything. And I have the video to prove it.
All right. Lee says momentum is real. It's chemistry and execution. Execution was a big part of this game. The Packers had very few penalties in this game. A lot of things that didn't slow them down, and they ran a lot more of Matt LaFleur's stuff. A lot of motion, a lot of stuff going on, trickery stuff. They had the jet sweeps. They had all the stuff going. We'll check into some of that in a little bit. A person who is also just as confident as Keyshawn, even though Lee only is semi-confident in him, is Anders Carlson. Always believed this whole training camp when he was missing kicks left and right in the preseason at practice, always knew he'd be able to knock him through. And again, he also knows that field goals are worth 3, extra points are only worth 1. So if he's going to miss some, he'll miss the ones that are worth 1. All right. So last thing from Keyshawn, we might as well share it now because he's up here, but I wanted you to see his face in this part. It might make you a little sad, but just watch his face here. It tells you a lot of what you need to know and all you need to know with this next question. I will try to I know it's kind of quiet because it's a little quiet for the people who are asking the questions, but here we go.
Keisha, do you like as a defense just a chance to help the team close out a bit? If so, why?
Hell yeah, you always want the back. You know what I'm saying? The game to end it. On your side of the ball. There's been a lot of times where we held on defense and then the offense had to go do it. So I think the last few weeks has been on us to win the games, and that's what we want.
Keyshawn, you guys have been without Ja for more than half the season. You traded Rasul. You've had CB.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot the other question was in there. So, did you see his face when they say, you've been without Ja for half the season, and
Didn't
then when
care.
they're like, and then you're like, and they traded away Rasul?
Then he had a
Eh.
reaction. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I know. It's not. It's we know this. We're the only show talking about it. Though actually, more and more shows are now doing the question like, what will happen when these guys come back from injury? Will they play or will they not? Will they play Jair Alexander when he comes back from injury? Even though he's he played like dog shit when he was out there, and he's a cocky SOB, and he's not really a good teammate. And okay, they didn't say that part, but we did. We'll say it. And you saw it plain as day. They say Jair has been out for so long. Keyshawn didn't phase him. They say, and they traded Rasul, and then he was like, oh, that one stung a little bit. And that's my key point to this Packer fandom that's getting all pumped up about playoffs. Playoffs? We're talking playoffs? I just want to win a game, right? Okay, we won some games.
Let them
But guess
be
what?
excited.
Guess what? When we get to the playoffs, we got no shot. And you know why? Because we traded away our best freaking player on defense. And it will come back to bite us in the balls. Because guess what? That pass interference, that's going to be called in the playoffs. That'll get called. That one will get called, especially if we're going up against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. That would get called in the playoffs.
That and the other concerning part about the defense is the fact they put Devondre Campbell back in, and if he's in there versus Isaiah McDuffie, it's a night and day difference. Case in point, looking at the stats from the game, Devondre Campbell with 4 tackles, 1 solo tackle, Ben. 1 solo tackle and 4 total tackles.
With all the running, that's because he doesn't fill the hole.
I know.
He doesn't adjust when the ball's in the air. He has no awareness. He can't get off blocks. He arm tackles instead of like using his body. Like McDuffie goes and smacks the piss out of you.
Yeah.
Devondre stands straight up and like he like Frankenstein's. He's like Frankenstein. And then he tries to get you with your arm. And then the guy runs right through it.
I do not want to poo-poo on the Packers parade or the Packer fans parade. I'm excited about this
I don't
team,
either.
and I'm excited about the rest of the season. However, the coaching staff needs to make the proper decisions. They need to make the right decisions about who to play. Corey Ballantyne just had 10 tackles again. He's had freaking 10 tackles, 9 tackles, 7 tackles from the cornerback spot, 8 tackles. Like, the guy's been tackling people, okay? He's making plays. He's doing good. You do not, if Eric Stokes and Jair Alexander are out there, it's going to be worse. It's not going to be as good. And if the Packers don't have tackling support from those defensive backs, and they have one of their interior linebackers who gets 4 tackles, 1 solo tackle in the game, when the other guy who played the exact same spot when that guy was out was getting 11 tackles, 14 tackles, 12 tackles, 10 tackles.
And pass defensed.
That could be their downfall. So it could. So I just want you to understand, as Packer fans, that all of your excitement, awesome, warranted. I'm excited too. But if the Packers coaches do not make the right decisions in who's in the game on the defensive side of the ball, the season will end early. They will not get as far as they should. And the sad part is, it's not that they don't have guys on the team that could do it better. They do. And those guys have shown you and the coaches that they can do it better. But they're not going to get the opportunity to be on the field unless the coaches stand up and say, you know what? I don't care. This guy makes $15 million and Isaiah McDuffie was a 6th-round pick who makes $300,000. He's playing better and he tackles people. Let's put him in the game. I don't care. Carrington Valentine is a 7th-round pick. Corey Ballantyne is a castaway guy that we just got on, whatever. Sorry, Eric Stokes, 1st-round pick. You're not going to play. Sorry, Jair. Maybe you're still hurt. Maybe you should stay hurt for the rest of the season. Anyway, that's where we're at on that.
And
What
I
do you
hate
got?
to
You got
start
some video
negative.
here? You got some
I just
praise?
want to do negative and get it over with. Then we'll go positive.
Get it over. And then we got some good stuff. We got some love. We got some
Yeah.
other good stuff. And I want to tell you, hang in there with us, because I'm going to show you what made Ben respect and like Matt LaFleur just a lot more, actually. Something happened here in the last few days that made Ben really get on the Matt LaFleur train. Now he's a big fan. All right, what do you got for this play, Ben? Your video's up.
Okay, so there's a play. I think it was the first Chiefs drive where Patrick Mahomes throws to Travis Kelce, and there isn't a Packer within 20 yards of him. And I was like, how the fart did that happen? So here's the play. Let's take a look on the all 22 to see what exactly happens. You're going to see a 24 coming in motion. That's Sky Moore coming down, which puts a little bit of pressure on this side of the field. And you would think we would have enough guys over here on the top of the screen to cover Kelce, who is lined up at tight end on that. He's the only receiver on that side of the field, on the top of the screen. Okay. So as this play develops, you see Sky Moore going in motion, coming down to the bottom of the screen. Okay. Now, the key to this play, if you look at the top, Devondre Campbell lets Kelce go past him because Pacheco is going out into the flat at the top of the screen. And Campbell is looking at him. So it looks like it's some sort of man coverage, I guess. Before the ball was snapped, as Sky Moore was going in motion down, Carrington Valentine was pointing to somebody over there saying, hey, somebody got to cover him, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But now Carrington Valentine is running straight back. Jonathan Owens is just above the G. Savage is way far back at the bottom of the G. And Keyshawn Nixon is running with Watson out of the slot, who's doing like a deep crossing route. And then Quay Walker, who's standing right about in the middle of the field on the hash mark, is going to be following number 4, who is Rashee Rice, who's going kind of in like the flat behind Sky Moore, who's going on a streaker down on the bottom of the screen. So it's going to be man coverage here with Corey Ballantyne on 24 on the bottom of your screen. You got Keyshawn Nixon on man coverage with Watson. You got Quay Walker, who's following Rashee Rice, who's kind of snuck out here at the end. Campbell's going to the top to try to cover Pacheco, which leaves Travis Kelce here. And unfortunately for the Packers, what should have happened, I think, is Keyshawn Nixon, we're going to watch this a little bit, right there, when he sees that there's 2 guys at about the 50-yard line standing next to each other, which is terrible technique. You got Owens and Valentine within 3 yards of each other here. Nixon should have said, screw it. You guys can cover him. I'm peeling off and seeing what's going on in the middle. But he doesn't. He stays with Watson.
Packers
So
have
right
kinda
where-
like 4 guys on 1 guy there.
Oh, just wait. It looks even worse in about 1 second here.
Jesus,
There you go.
what the hell?
There's 3 guys within 5 yards of each other, all covering Watson. And why Valentine and Owens are still both running deep, I do not know. Especially when Nixon is here with them as well. And the ball is now gone. Kelce is standing here at the G, and there's not a Packer anywhere near him. And Campbell sees it, but he just stands there looking at it like, oh, hey, there's the ball going to Kelce. I guess I'll just stand here and watch and see what happens. Now, Quay Walker's playing man coverage. He doesn't even know the ball's gone. Valentine's playing man coverage. He doesn't know the ball's gone. So there's some type of weird communication issue here. Because this is clearly man, because they're looking at the man and not the ball. This is clearly man. He's looking at the man, not the ball. Devondre Campbell is clearly man, looking at the man, not the ball. The miscommunication is Owens or Valentine should have taken Kelce because he was the man lined up furthest outside at the top of the screen. I think it's probably Valentine who should have been the guy to cover Kelce at this point. Or him and Campbell should have switched, where Valentine stays in the flat, takes the running back, Campbell stays in the middle and takes Kelce. But either way, you don't want to leave Travis Kelce that wide open. He just caught the ball. there's not a Packer anywhere near him. And it was like 3rd and 10 or okay, it was second down, 2nd and 8. But still, I mean, what the heck is this? It's a complete disaster and a miscommunication on many levels. Somewhere, I'm guessing it should have been Valentine and Owens. One of those two should have been sticking with Campbell or with Kelsey. And it all is because of that motion from Sky Moore from the top of the screen to the bottom, screwed up Valentine and doesn't know what he's pointed to somebody and then just ran backwards. And somehow we got 3 guys on this Watson guy who's like a 4th string receiver. And the best tight end in the game right now, not a single guy anywhere near him. So kind of dumb. What do you think about that?
Definitely miscommunication breakdown. But Savage got a tackle. Hey, Darnell.
Well, Savage is the only guy. I mean, he had his eye on the quarterback. Everybody else don't even know what the hell was going on in that play because it was clearly man. Right? It was clearly man.
Yeah.
So who's got Kelsey here? It's either Owens or it's Valentine.
Right.
And I don't know quite what's going on. Like, look, Valentine comes in.
Yeah, you're right. When Moore, I don't know. Maybe it is supposed to be Valentine, and he just reacted.
That's just too easy.
Yeah, it is. It is. But overall, a lot of good plays in this game, and we'll get to them.
So this is hopefully something they're going over on the tape, and they're teaching the player, okay, this is what we're not supposed to do here.
Yeah.
If a guy goes in motion, you have to cover the guy who's furthest outside Valentine because the safeties are, maybe he doesn't want to cover a tight end. I don't know. There should be communication with all those guys. And like Owen should be like, hey, let's double team Kelsey here or whatever. Like he's on our side. If he goes out, you take him. If he goes in, I'll take him. Right. And then you watch what's going on. And there was just nothing. They just both ran deep and left them wide open. And it was crazy. And I don't blame Campbell for that because he was obviously supposed to cover, it looked like it was man for Campbell. It looked like it was man for Quay Walker. It looked like it was man for Nixon, man for Valentine. So something went wrong.
Yep.
And just that little bit of motion just shows you how screwed up it can screw up a defense, especially with young guys who don't know what the hell's going on.
I think so too. But I do think, I mean, there were a couple plays like that overall. Pretty good play across the board from a lot of the guys. And I was also, I mean, we're talking defense right now. Jonathan Owens, once again, guy who doesn't give a crap who you are. He's going to smack you. Doesn't care if it's Patty Mahomes. Doesn't care who it is. Going to come lay some wood on you. Mr. Biles.
Yeah. So here's another big play this was the 3rd and 18 play, which they had 2 penalties, really held them back. I mean, there's no reason why this should have happened. I mean, we want to know, okay, how did Kelsey get open when Mahomes just scrambled a little bit? Well, if you look here, Mahomes is in the pocket. We got, if you look at the bottom of the screen, we got Nixon and Valentine on a bracket with the guy down here. Travis Kelsey is in the middle. There's 2 guys next to him. The top of the screen, you got Valentine going deep with him. You got Campbell underneath. And then you got Anthony Johnson Jr., who is the lower safety at about the 46-yard line on the top of the screen, who's kind of standing facing the quarterback. And he's kind of got to look out for Kelsey because Kelsey's now coming into his area while you've got Nixon or actually this might be, this is Savage here. Savage and Quay Walker. And I think Quay Walker is spying on this play because he looks like he's looking right at Mahomes and sticks with him the whole time. But as the play goes further, Mahomes is going to break the pocket. At this point, the ball's already gone. Let me back it up a little bit because I tried to pause it. It didn't pause it for me here. Okay, so Mahomes is now at the 35-yard line. And he's getting close to the line of scrimmage, but he's not there yet. Quay Walker is shadowing him and moving forward. Savage is shadowing him and moving forward. Nixon is moving that way because they're all at about the first down marker. And it's Anthony Johnson Jr. I don't know why he is coming forward because Mahomes is still behind the line of scrimmage. He should be worried about Kelsey.
Yeah.
But he's a young player. He's like, Mahomes is running. Well, no, Mahomes doesn't run to run. He runs to pass. So you got 1, 2, 3 guys all running to stop Mahomes, who's got to have to run for 18 yards just to get the first down. Yet here you got a guy, Kelsey, who's the best tight end in the league again, and nobody worried about him, apparently. who's also the target that Mahomes is always looking for, and we have nobody on him. And the ball gets thrown, and there's not anybody anywhere near him. And of course, it's a first down on 3rd and 18, which should have been a stop, and that drive led to a touchdown. So,
Yeah, that play was a big miss and a big disappointment. And again, you're right. I mean, I also felt like, even just I get if Walker was spying, but I just felt like why there's nobody else when you show that other angle too. There's nobody else around there. So sit at the sticks and just, that would have covered up the throwing lane to Kelsey too. But then they all crept up between Savage and him, and Quay Walker's got to go up. But if the two safeties stay back, you can prevent that play from happening, and then you get the ball back. You force a punt. So that was disappointing. That one was definitely disappointing.
now this next play I want to show is just because it's awesome. This is TJ Slayton, who gets a pass defense on one of those shuffle passes that always works. But TJ Slayton gets off the block of Creed Humphrey. Not only does he do that, but he gets in there and knocks the pass down. It is beautiful. So you just want to watch TJ Slayton in the middle here. Amazing play. I've never seen this before on one of these shuffle passes. Usually guys aren't quick enough to get to the backfield. But he's going to beat the center, get to the backfield, break up the pass. Oh, he doesn't beat the center, he beats the left guard. Right there. Nope. Man, if only freaking Gary a little bit quicker, he could have picked that off. That was a beautiful, awesome play by TJ Slayton. Just a heads up, smart play. But here's the problem with the very next play.
Well, hold on. Let me give you a quick
what?
note. Let me give you a quick note on that. Looking at these statistics, told you how Devondre Campbell had 4 tackles, only 1 solo tackle. TJ Slayton had 3 tackles, all solos, or 3 tackles, excuse me, but he also had a passive defense. So when your nose tackle has almost as many tackles as one of your middle linebackers, and the guy who has more passes defended in the game is your nose tackle, that's not a good sign for your middle linebacker. But okay,
Right.
Go on.
And this is, we're going to take advantage of Devondre Campbell here on this play. So I don't know quite whose job it is. This is a great route combinations for the Chiefs. You've got guys going everywhere. Sky Moore is going to inside route. The tight end is going to go out, and it looks like he might go to the flat, but he's actually going to curl back in. And then you got the running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's coming out into the flat. And then you got Travis Kelce doing a deep pass, which takes away 2 of our defenders because they're worried about Travis Kelce in the red zone. And Campbell goes to the flat, and so does Owens, which leaves 83 tight end wide open for a little comeback route, angle route back into the end zone. And there you go. Campbell's got his eyes on the quarterback. The ball's gone. Like, why is he still moving toward the running back? I don't quite know.
That has to be Campbell's responsibility there. It makes no sense that would be Owens' responsibility for something inside like that.
Also, look at everybody. This is zone. They're all looking back at the quarterback. Every single Packer, except actually for Valentine. So this could be man on top and then zone every place else because it was 4 guys here down at the bottom of the screen. And maybe Valentine just was like, you're on an island, buddy. You play man. Everybody else is going to play a zone down here to cover all these guys. And Campbell just went to the flat when there's obviously Owens here who could easily have made the tackle. But because Campbell left his position and doesn't react to the ball in the air, he's still moving toward the flat. And now you're going to see Owens turn around and be like, dude, use your head. What are you doing? Aren't you the leader of this defense? Aren't you the guy who calls the plays?
I think Jonathan Owens is one of the leaders of the defense now.
Well,
which is crazy.
Devondre Campbell.
It's crazy to me. Yeah, but what is Campbell doing? Like,
he gets way out of position and he leaves that. That's like the key to this defense working is for everybody to sit at the goal line.
Yeah.
Right? In your zone. Campbell vacated his zone. The tight end goes to that vacated spot. Mahomes finds him easily. And now what you end up with is 2 guys here. You don't take away that passing lane for the quarterback. Campbell should have stayed where he was. This was obviously a zone. But somehow he was playing man on the running back in the flat. And that's what caused the touchdown to happen.
So basically, to start the show, we are showing you why Devondre Campbell should not be in the game.
Well, he should never be in the game. He's just not that good. So, but I'm done being negative. We're positive for the rest of the game. I'm sorry, everybody, we're negative right off the bat, but there are things that need to be cleaned up. And what it is young players and also a veteran player who don't know what the hell's going on.
But would you also agree with me that the Packers have good to better options who have shown that they can do pretty well on this team? They have them on the roster. They don't need to go out and try to figure something else out or change it up or whatever. Like, they just need to play the right guys. I don't know if the Packers could beat the 49ers. I don't know if the Packers could beat the Eagles. I don't know. But anything can happen, right? A couple of mistakes by the other team, you can win those games. Crazy stuff has happened before. The Packers are good enough that they could make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. But if we end up with guys on the outside who don't want to tackle, guys who are getting out of position, even though they're veterans and stuff like that and supposed to be team leaders and get paid a lot of money, like, it's going to beat you again. You're going to lose again in the playoffs. And that's the situation. So let's do it. It's a youth movement, Ben. Youngest team in the NFL. Youngest offense in the NFL. Why? Why is Devondre Campbell playing? No. Isaiah McDuffie, play him. The guy tackles people. The guy makes plays. These cornerbacks are doing well. Like, don't give me Eric Stokes and Jair Alexander. And if you do, I expect to see 100% effort out of those guys on every single play because they've been sitting on their asses for the whole year pretty much. So if they do come back, I expect to see them tackling, attacking plays, giving it their all. And if you don't get that out of them, then get them the hell off the field because these guys can play and they need to play if you're not going to get their best from those other dudes.
Well, the one thing I also want to add real quick is that all of those mistakes I just showed you were mental mistakes where guys were in the right spot and then didn't follow through with what they should have done. And that brings me, the question is Joe Barry really as bad as everybody says he is? Because those are the plays I just showed you were the three egregious plays in the game that really let drives really continue in the first two plays. And then the third one was giving up a touchdown on a play where it really, maybe they would have scored anyways. They were at the 1 yard line, but I think that was third down, if I remember right. So if he would have stayed where he was, the pressure could have got there because that's what happened earlier in the game. So Joe Barry had the right calls out there. Guys just did something dumb, in each different spot. I think Valentine totally whiffed and didn't go with Kelsey. The second one, Anthony Johnson Jr. clearly should have looked for Kelsey and stayed with him instead of jumping the Patrick Mahomes run when Quay Walker was right in front of him. He saw Quay Walker in front of him. Let Quay Walker go do it. And somehow if he breaks the tackle, you're going to make Mahomes is not that fast. You can get there in time to try to mess with him. And then the last one, Devondre Campbell leaves his zone to go cover the flat for some stupid ass reason, and the guy's wide open in the end zone. Is that Joe Barry's fault that those three guys screwed up? No. And that's, and I don't know if Joe Barry sucks that bad. I mean, maybe he isn't that bad. Maybe it's this guys keep doing stupid shit.
Maybe. The other thing is, I know Pacheco's crazy, and for a 216-pound guy, he runs
that
like
guy's
a
awesome.
maniac. And somehow he was a 7th round pick. I don't get it, but whatever. But
How did we not find him?
But the Chiefs, as a rookie, the Chiefs said they had drafted Edwards-Helaire in the 1st round the year before, right?
Yeah.
And they got this guy in the 7th round the next year, and they're like,
and they play him.
This guy's way better, so we're playing him. We don't care the guy was a 1st round pick. We don't care.
Right.
Packers need to take that mentality too and do the same damn thing. Play the guys who are playing better. Play the guys who put the best out on the field and produce. That's who you got to play. And Zero, even though you say some stuff, I know you're trying to rile Ben up, but
what's he say?
He said it's wild how well we play without Rasul. Look, Zero.
Well, I just showed you how we didn't play well because you know what Rasul would have done? Rasul would have covered Travis Kelce. Probably would have picked off that first one. Just like he beat the shit out of Hawkinson.
Considering Rasul has 4 turnovers since joining the Bills, and the Packers just got their first interception in the last 4 games with
Yeah,
Keyshawn Nixon.
sorry, Zero. The problem is going to be, you'll see when the Packers will make the playoffs, hopefully, and when they do, somehow it's gonna be this young secondary and or Jair Alexander is going to be the problem, and we're going to lose because of that.
Or
is what I think's gonna
Devondre
happen.
Campbell, maybe.
Well,
Because
yeah, or Devondre.
Pacheco had crazy yards per attempt as well. And he's only 216 pounds. How does he run so powerful? He's just insane. Anyway,
he
he's
runs
awesome.
through guys, he runs over guys, and he runs around guys. He has the ability to do all those things because he runs violently at
How
all
is he
times.
his 7th round pick that nobody wanted?
I don't know.
It's
I don't know.
just-
It
It's
makes
so
no
weird.
sense.
Lee
But
says,
let's get positive.
Lee says we
go
want
ahead.
Pacheco. Let me give you some positive stats here before we get to some video. Positive stats are this. Something I absolutely love about this game and love about Jordan Love. 10 players targeted in this game, Ben. 10
Okay.
different players targeted in the game.
Why are we going offense? We're talking defense.
Oh, we're still on defense? All right.
Yes.
Well, no, we're done. All right. Awesome defense. Corey
Stick with
Ballantyne,
defense.
10 tackles, 5 solo tackles. Jonathan Owen, 5 tackles. Kick the crap out of Patrick Mahomes. Keyshawn Nixon gets the first interception, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear dumb people who say Sky Moore stopped running the route. No, Keyshawn Nixon read the play, got in front of him.
I'll show.
and went and
Right.
got the
I will.
ball.
I have the video. We will show
All
you
right.
what happened.
All right, we got video. Let's go for it.
Okay. These are the key stops. The difference in this game were the 2 red zone stops at the beginning of the game and the Keyshawn Nixon pick. And I have all those things happening here. How did Patrick Mahomes get sacked in the red zone?
Coverage.
Well, let's find it. Well, maybe. Okay. So at this point, he's hit his back foot. Let's look at what the Packers are doing. First of all, they only send 3 guys. So we have 8 guys in coverage here.
Oh no, there's 4. It's just that one's getting
Oh,
blocked.
yeah, you're right.
up
There is 4.
There, somebody's getting
Kingsley
taken
Enagbari is
down.
getting tackled by a guy here, which is kind of crazy.
Who is this that's getting stonewalled? Is that Kenny Clark or Colby Wooden or something?
I think it's Colby Wooden or somebody because he's got long sleeves on. It might be Carl Brooks. I don't know.
But Van Ness actually beat his guy, so there you
Well,
go.
Van Ness gets the sack on this play. So,
Yep.
But if you look at the top of the screen, you got Kelsey covered by Anthony Johnson Jr. And if he's doing an out route, there could be a pass there for Mahomes, but he's not doing it. Owens is covering Pacheco over here on the top of the screen. When you look at the bottom of the screen, you got all 3 receivers. We got 4 Packers here. Though Devondre Campbell is, I don't know what he's looking at. For some reason, he's looking like you're not covering anybody when you're looking
What is
backwards.
he doing? He's doing
don't know.
absolutely nothing.
I don't know what he's doing.
I'm trying not to be negative, but he's doing absolutely nothing. He's not
Right.
helping the defense whatsoever right there.
And if Mahomes was smart, he would do an
chuck
anticipation
it.
throw
Yeah.
to 4 because Campbell's not even looking at him.
When you talk about our Packer offense, you're going to see some anticipation throws.
Yeah,
Holy
we will.
That's awesome. Jordan Love, damn.
So even
right,
though
we'll get
everybody look at Quay Walker's got his eyes on. I think Quay Walker might be spying. I don't know because he's just hanging out and looking back at him. You got a double team here on 4 with Valentine and Campbell, Aaron
Now we got-
Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers would throw this ball right past Campbell's ear hole.
Yeah,
for a
because he
touchdown.
can't see. Because why wouldn't he turn around there at least? What's
I
he
don't
doing?
know what's going on. But
Okay.
Mahomes isn't throwing it there. And now he's got pressure, so he's trying to get away. And he thinks he can get away. But as you look, Van Ness beat his guy. And Van Ness has got size and speed.
Yep.
And he just goes, sorry, poop pants guy. I'm tackling your ass for a sack, poop pants.
Call him Professor Poopy Pants, like from Mr. Or what's it? Captain Underpants.
Oh, it's TJ Slayton, who is the guy who got no push. Which is
Oh,
fine.
okay.
He's not known as a pass rusher.
He was probably tired by this point.
Let's
Probably
just
tired.
watch this pass rush here by Van Ness. Pretty much just speed, push, arms off, push, just
That guy
go
just
for it.
tackled Enagbari. That's a fucking penalty. What the hell
Yeah.
is that?
I know.
What
That
is
happened a
the
lot, by the way.
bullshit?
It happened a lot in this game. A lot of hands to the face they didn't call on the tackles of the Chiefs and also tackles against their guys. Now, the very next play I have in here, because you want to watch Kingsley Enagbari on this play. I think he does something cool. I could be wrong.
That's a good
Does he do
push.
something cool?
Oh,
No,
man.
he doesn't do anything. He like
Flattens
chokes.
it.
He chokes
flattens
Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
He chokes Travis Kelce, and those guys get in a fight.
Kelsey's all pissed. He's like, you know who I am? He's like, yeah, I know who you are. I'll kick
I don't
your
give a
ass."
crap. I don't. That's awesome. But anyways, watch Van Ness on this play. This is the very next play after the sack. Watch him on this play. He does a good job. So he takes on the tackle. He's got his eyes in the backfield. He now knows the ball is in the running back's hands. He's looking at it. He's got his eyes on it. He's not trying to beat the guy in front of him to get a sack again. He's watching where the ball is.
Yep. Hit and read. Hit and read.
Pushes off to the inside.
Yep. Shed.
Right?
Good. Yep.
Kenny Clark did a pretty good job of holding off his guy, but he's fallen down.
Against a single team, but that's all right. Whatever.
Yep. Campbell's getting blocked, of course. Colby Wooden is beat Humphrey to the inside, but he's given up a lane here.
Carl Brooks, but I got
so
you.
we really need Van Ness to get there to make this tackle, and him and Kenny Clark get there and stop him. But I think it's Van Ness who actually made that play by keeping his eyes. He did pretty good.
Yeah,
he tripped him up.
I'll tell you what. I know. He got Pacheco to throw a punch at the end of the game. Keyshawn was doing a lot of little extra stuff late.
Yeah, he was. I like that.
And
I like
pissing guys off and getting under their skin a little bit. Nice work, K9.
All right, here we go again. This time the Chiefs keep an extra blocker in with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's going to be chipping on the top of the screen here on Preston Smith. And they try to do one-on-one block with Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary's already got this tackle beat. The tackle's pretty much tackling him, but they're not calling it. Mahomes has got a good pocket, but if you look downfield, Owens is on Kelsey here at the top of the screen. You got 3 wide receivers down in the bottom of the screen, and none of them have made their breaks yet. And if there's any type of a deep pass in the end zone, you got it bracketed with Savage and with Valentine at the bottom of the screen in the end zone. You got really 3 guys triangle coverage on Kelsey here. Mahomes has got nowhere to go. He's looking at Kelsey, but he's like, crap, there's 3 guys over there. I can't do it. So he's got to come back to the 3 receiver side, which he does now, but Gary gets pressure on him. He has to jump up and then jump back, and Gary's laying on the ground.
It was a great play by Gary, yeah.
Gary gets back up and sacks him. And then Kenny Clark, who just stood there and did nothing, goes and celebrates like, hey, I did something. Choo-choo. Me, I'm the man. Choo-choo. Arm type. You did nothing, Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark had his hands touch. He touched Mahomes with his hands, and then Gary tackled
at the very
him.
end. Yeah,
and then Gary tackled him. But I love it. Yeah. And somehow he got credited for half a sack. And TV time on that.
It's a single block on Kenny Clark, by the way.
Oh, really? Because I heard he gets doubled so much.
That he beat.
That's good.
And hands to the face by Kenny Clark, by the way, that they didn't call. And Rashawn, by Kenny Clark, who's got a closer lane to Patrick Mahomes.
Look at this, man. They're doubling
2 guys on Colby Wooden.
Freaking Carl Brooks.
Carl Brooks, yeah.
Just one quick second. I'm going to bring it right back. But one quick second, taking the video away. As a Packer fan, the rookie, what was he, a 5th round pick, 6th round, whatever the hell he was, out of Ball State, Carl Brooks is getting double teamed by the offensive line of the Chiefs, and Kenny Clark is single blocked. What does that tell you as a Packer fan? Just think about it for a second. Answer it in your own mind. We don't have to give you the answer. You know what it means. All right, here we go. Back to the video. All right, I see Kenny Clark still engaged in a block.
No, that's actually Patrick Mahomes in front of him right now.
Oh, is it? Okay, he can't tackle
him. He can't get him down. Even though he's right in front of him, he still can't tackle him. And Rashawn Gary has fallen to the ground.
Thank you, David. Bowling Green. Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Gotten back up, and he's not even anywhere near him. And Kenny Clark still can't tackle him. And then Rashawn Gary gets over there and actually makes a tackle while Kenny Clark is just standing there. I mean, and Kenny Clark's like, I'm the man. No, Rashawn Gary's the man. Rashawn Gary was freaking crazy on that play. You kind of did nothing. I mean, you were in the way. That's good. You were in the way. I'll give you that.
Thank
and then,
you,
of
David.
course,
just
then they had to kick a field
goal. Bowling Green. God, Bowling. I'm sorry. Ever since I watched the Boom Goes the Dynamite kid, I always make lots of plugs for Ball State. If you've never witnessed the Boom Goes the Dynamite, check it out. Boom Goes the Dynamite, Ball State. Search it on the internet. You'll find some video that'll make you cringe and laugh your ass off.
Who's a Packer pass rusher who is a Ball State alumni?
Is that Keith McKenzie? Was he Ball State?
Yes, that's Keith McKenzie.
Ball State. All right.
Anyways,
Bowling Green. Go ahead.
So that after that sack, so that was 2 sacks in one 3 down series,
Nice.
which led to a field goal, right? So that was the first stop that led to a field goal. Great defense by the Packers. Good coverage. Mahomes would not take the anticipation throw because he just want to throw a pick in the red zone. And then the Packers pass rush got there and made the play twice, which was great. Now,
We
on
have to
this
go
one,
back to Corey's comment from way before when we talk about Jordan Love, because
yeah, well, we're not
that's
there yet.
exactly what happened. Is Jordan Love anticipates,
Yes.
and Patrick
And
Mahomes is not.
Jordan Love is doing things that we have not seen as a Packer fan,
For a
a
decade.
quarterback do in 2 decades, maybe
Damn.
3 decades.
All right, keep.
We haven't seen this since Don Mikowski.
All right, we'll get back to it. All right, here we go.
So that's all.
Patrick Mahomes, Poopy Pants, Professor Poopy Pants Mahomes.
Professor Poopy Pants is here at the back of his drop. You got a whole lot of guys doing a whole lot of nothing. Travis Kelce's get triple teamed. He's at about the 4-yard line. And then you got a whole bunch of nothing. These guys are waiting to break and do routes and stuff, and I don't know. And on top of the screen, Valentine is single coverage on Sky Moore again with no help. And Mahomes isn't even looking there. So I don't know quite what's going on there. I would be looking at that, but he never quite does. He's always looking for Kelce. He's still looking for Kelce. Even though he's got Sky Moore here, he could probably go to the top of the screen. He's got Edwards-Helaire on Quay Walker at the 10-yard line. He could probably throw that over there, but he's not looking. He's waiting for Kelce to get open. Or 83 tight end, who's now actually okay. That was 83 at the top of the screen.
Kelsey's going for the bottom. Syndrome here, or Devontae Adams syndrome, where you're just looking for one guy. That's not smart.
And he's still kind of hovering, and the Packers are in a zone on the bottom part of the screen, but they're in man coverage on the top. It's another one of those weird combos. We got 5 guys covering 3 at the bottom of the screen. We got single coverage with Valentine man-to-man, single coverage with Quay Walker man-to-man on the running back. And Mahomes has nowhere to throw the ball, except for maybe 83 if he does a back shoulder throw. And that's something that I think Jordan Love would do at this point. You could throw this to the inside shoulder to 83, who's just underneath the N and the B of Green Bay and the goal line. If you look at 83, he's right at the 2-point conversion hash mark. If you throw that to the inside shoulder, I don't think Owens could get there and break that pass up. He could catch it, and then it's a first down. I mean, he's at the 1-yard line. That's where right now the first down marker is a 2-yard line. But Mahomes isn't throwing it there. I don't know why.
He's still looking at Kelce, isn't he? Yeah.
It's dumb because we got Kelce triple covered.
Yeah.
And now 83 is broken off, and there's nobody. He could just lob this up to the end zone. But, of course, now he's got, if you look back at the pocket here.
P. Smith.
Preston Smith beat the snot out of his guy who's laying on the ground. Left tackle was laying on his ground, and then Preston Smith is going in there to make the sack. So it was a good combination of coverage. And it was the cool part was you saw both times now that they've gotten in the end zone. We've seen man coverage on the opposite side of the field where Travis Kelce is not.
I felt like
you're seeing
Kenny Clark was trying to celebrate. He's trying to take credit for that one too, a little bit.
Was he?
Yeah, well, you see him with the finger up in the air.
What does Kenny Clark do? Kenny Clark gets single blocked by
Creed Humphrey.
Wow, Creed Humphrey. Well, he's getting double. He's doing.
He was not getting double. The guys didn't do nothing to him. He's just standing there. Creed Humphrey's the only guy that blocked him or touched him.
Let's go back and watch how fast Preston Smith wins on
P. Smith. He was playing.
Pass rush.
How do you feel about Preston Smith this year? He's a good guy. He's not playing up to how much his contract is, but he's doing some good stuff.
He's doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing some good stuff. That was a good play. Gary got good pressure. Devontae Wyatt got good pressure. That was some good stuff.
Zero says he forgot that Ballantyne and Valentine are different players. Well,
yeah, I think a lot of people did.
Well, all right, I'll tell you what. Ballantyne is a lot better tackler, and Valentine's a little bit better coverage guy, but they both are doing pretty good. Lee says Preston has been playing way better. Sorry. What you got?
All right, so this is the Keyshawn Nixon pick.
Ooh.
What you want to watch first is watch how the outside receiver is going to try to pick Nixon with his route. But Nixon's smart enough to know, I know what's coming. Now, after Nixon said somebody said that he said when Patrick Mahomes touches his knee, he knew what play was going to be. There's some kind of signal he does, and he knew that meant that was going to be that slot fade or whatever to the outside. and he knew it was coming. So he didn't get picked because he jumped out of there.
It could just be coincidental too, but
Could be.
one thing that's awesome about this, most defensive backs don't find this ball. But because Keyshawn Nixon is also a punt returner and has all that experience doing that, he can find the ball up in the air. So it's awesome.
So you look here at Rashee Rice is doing that. Like normally that slot corner is trying to get around here to play man coverage. But it's also, 2nd and 8. So he's got a lot of field to work with. So by going around, even if this would be like an out route to Sky Moore, he could still get over there and make the tackle. And I think he has enough, confidence in himself that he could stop it for like a 4-yard gain. But he knows it's coming because he said after the game he knew it was coming.
Before you advance, just pause here real quick. The Chiefs had nothing else going on this play. Look at the guys on the bottom side of the formation. They're not running routes. They're not doing anything.
No.
Right? So this is it. They're running a single pick on the right side, and if that pick doesn't work, this play sucks. You can't do anything with it. So Mahomes, this is one of his anticipation throws, one of the only ones of the game, and he's anticipating that guy picking off Nixon, and Nixon's too smart.
Yeah. And that's the difference between Nixon and all the Chiefs defenders in this game because they did not do well with the anticipation throws. So the thing that's cool here is Nixon stops when he sees Sky Moore look up for the ball. Nixon stops and looks up for the ball. He already sees the ball now. So he knows the trajectory at this point. Look at where he is. He sees where the ball is. He knows where he has to go to get this ball at this point already. So it does seem like he looks up for it at the last second, but he knows where it's going, and he understands the trajectory. He's got his eyes on it the whole time and picks that sucker off. Beautiful play, beautiful read, beautiful understanding of what Patrick Mahomes does from tape study. Now, I don't know if that was him on his own, if it was his coach teaching him this stuff or what. But see that right there where Patrick Mahomes is touching his knee? Right here, he's touching his knee and he's looking over and telling Sky Moore something. That was the key that Keyshawn Nixon said after the game that told him what was coming. So that's just a smart heads-up play by a veteran player who hasn't played a lot of defense, but
right. But he thinks he's a dog no matter what.
Yeah, and sometimes he gets beat, but he's such an aggressive player that who cares? He gets beat maybe one time, but 9 times he's making the tackle, or he's making the pick, or he's getting the pass defense, or he's doing something good, right?
Makes the over-the-shoulder catch, gets his feet in bounds. Like how many times you see opportunities like that, and guys can't pull all that together because they're defensive backs and they don't practice all that stuff. It was a fantastic play, and the first Packer defensive back interception since they traded Rasul Douglas in 4 weeks. So just a heads up.
Yeah.
Chris Hand is here, and Chris has a little song rhyme for us: head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Lions, Bears, Vikings really blows. Pardon my Packerism, he says. All right, Chris, we'll take it. We'll take it all the way. And Lee puts in ball skills, so I like it. I like ball skills. And then Lee also says Bears don't blow; they suck. Now the Bears also got us a big win, Lee. They beat the Vikings, so we're happy about that.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Heck yeah. Which Vikings are kind of falling apart, but I like it.
I mean, the difference in this game was, that's 8 points and a possible who knows how many points off that interception that stopped, the Chiefs right there, right? The two red zone stops, which saved us 4 points apiece.
Yeah,
that's the game. That's the game right there. 27-19, right?
Yeah.
So it was those 2 red zone stops that really did it. Now, I showed earlier the 2 plays on those 2 drives that were boneheaded that probably would have stopped them not even getting any points at all. But at least they did get the red zone stops. And it was cool to see those combination of zone on one side and man on the other side using the skills like Corey Ballantyne, pretty good heads up guy. But is he a great cover guy? Not so much. But Carrington Valentine is a good cover guy. So they had him playing man on the top of the screen. And they had Ballantyne in a zone with a couple other guys covering the bottom part of the screen there. And that's cool. Like Barry is changing stuff up. He's not just having everybody play zone, everybody play man, and all this other crap. They're doing different things based on different things. And they let Mahomes' ability, where he always wants to look for Kelsey, bite him in the nuts. Because If he would have looked over the other side, he would have seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire probably open in the flat there. And maybe he would have got the first down. Maybe he wouldn't have. Quay Walker was there. Maybe he would have been able to make the tackle. But it would have been a
All
completed
skills.
pass. And those are just cool things the defense is doing. And, it's not always great. But sometimes Joe Barry's, the defense's mistakes aren't because Joe Barry's calls are bad. It's because the guys are doing dumb crap. And then we've seen some pretty good calls by Joe Barry here, and guys execute on those plays, and then the pass rush gets there. And we talked about this last week. When the Packers get the lead, that's what they're built for, having the lead and sicking the dogs on them with this pass rush. They can keep that up, keep getting the ball first and going down and scoring and making those guys have to catch up. That puts the pressure on them. That leads right into our hands with a really good pass rush. And that's why we've been so successful over the last couple of weeks.
They lost it this week, and the Chiefs deferred. Bad move, Chiefs. What you
Bad
doing?
move. I guarantee no other team will defer to the Packers again the rest of the year.
Zero with a little snark says if Nixon plays well for too long, he might get traded. Zero. Come on.
Zero. Come on.
All right. Hey, remember what I talked to you about? I apologize to Rashawn Gary last week. Here's another example. This is him after the game. Let's hear from Rashawn Gary and just hear what he had to say. It's just an example of some of the stuff I was telling you, right? How he doesn't make it about himself. He makes it about the team. And he was asked this question about how they were able to get those red zone sacks. And this is his response.
Stones unturned. What's it like watching Jordan? I love it, man.
Sorry. This is where he's talking about Jordan Love. Rashawn Gary talking about Jordan Love.
Getting more comfortable. He's getting better and better. He's getting in his groove every week. And I just love how he's leading us.
Love how. Did you ever hear Rashawn Gary or anybody say stuff like that about the previous quarterback? I don't remember comments like that. Anyway, let's hear what else. I think this is where they ask him about the defense.
We've seen people pressure Patrick Mahomes and him be able to that happens, but you guys were able to get 3 sacks on him.
They're able to get 3 sacks in the red zone. She's saying, how'd you do it?
My secondary covering their butts off and them giving us time to rush, taking away.
So basically, they're right away talking about how'd you get those sacks in the red zone, right? And his first comment is the secondary is covering their butts off and giving us a chance to get there. Yeah. So once again, you got guys he's the right kind of guy. He's the right kind of guy. I like it.
It's a great leadership line. It's a great way to, as a guy who's the highest paid player on defense at this point, showing that, and that's true leadership. Like whenever you're any type of leader, when you get a compliment and your first response is, well, I couldn't do it without my whole team around me or the guys and gals I have with me on the team. That's a sign of a great leader. And when you have a leader, a bad leader, they get a compliment and they just go, oh, well, thanks. That's what I've seen at my job. Oops. Oh, did I say that out loud? Okay. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. But so what you want to do is have a leader like this guy. He's doing great. We've been harsh on Rashawn at different times. We've said, I don't think he's worth the dough that they paid him. Because people it's not that he's bad. It's just, people bring him up as if he's some sort of transcendent player on defense. He's not that, but he is relentless. He does work his ass off. He does lead the team in a good way, and he's there for his guys, and he backs them up no matter what. And those are all great, great aspects. He's not a crazy wild man like Clay Matthews was, where he's just going crazy and just run around and freaking making plays left and right, right? He's not that. He's not a guy like TJ Watt who has eyes in the back of his head and can tell when the ball's in the air and tips it up and intercepts it himself and does all crazy stuff. He can't do that. He's not like Max Crosby who can beat any guy in front of him, no matter who it is, get in the backfield and cause havoc on every play, whether it's a running play or a pass play. He can't do that. So that's why we've said it's when people compare him to those guys, or they say he's defensive, could be a defensive player of the year. It's I don't think he could be defensive player of the year. What he can be is a very good pass rusher and a very good leader for a team that sorely needs one. And not because they don't have one. It's because the guys they have in leadership positions before him, before he can take that spot, were selfish guys like Jair or quiet guys like Devondre Campbell and Kenny Clark. Gary's got a little bit of moxie to him. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I remember like when reporters ask him questions, he kind of gets in their face right back at him, like, "Wow, what do you think? You think I can come back? Do you think I was going to come back?" And like, I think they were scared because he's such a big, huge dude, and he's got just intensity, right? And he has the ability to give that intensity to the rest of the guys on the team. We talked about it last year when we were at training camp, where Ladarius Gunter, is that his name?
Ladarius Hamilton.
Ladarius Hamilton made a sack in practice in the red zone on, there wasn't a sack, but it was a sack, where he got the Aaron Rodgers and whatever. And Rashawn Gary is on the sidelines because it was the second team playing against the first team. And Rashawn Gary came running out there faster than crap and freaking going nuts for him, right? And that was last year when Gary was, the first year where Z was gone, and now Gary was like the main, guy on pass rush, because even Preston Smith's a little quiet. So before Gary, we had really quiet guys. Well, we had Z, who was a jerk. We all knew that. He wasn't even a leader, right? Because we didn't.
He's just lazy. He didn't a jerk.
Right. Well, yeah, but he wasn't a team. He's not a team guy.
No, he's a me guy.
And Jair's not a team guy.
Correct.
And Kenny Clark and Devondre Campbell and Preston Smith are team guys, but they're not leaders. They're not leaders.
Right.
Rashawn Gary is a leader and a team guy, and he's so sorely needed for this team to come together and be what it can be. And his leadership is a good thing. Like Chris Hand is talking about LVN. Well, LVN had a couple of great plays I showed. And Rashawn Gary has a good chance of showing LVN what it means to be a leader and to be a awesome dude, right? And if he can keep that going, that's really something.
Gary's thing above all of it, because you're right. He's not as athletically skilled as some of these other guys. He doesn't have the speed of he doesn't have the closing speed, he doesn't have some of the other stuff. Gary's best attribute is his heart. He cares. If you watch like anything, even from when he was drafted, he's like crying. He's an emotional dude. It means so much to him. And he's a mama's boy. All right? He's a mama's boy. And as a mama's boy myself, you know what? I can get on board with Rashawn Gary. I can relate.
You were definitely a mama's boy. That's true.
I was always a mama's boy. But I'll tell you what, he's a good-hearted dude, okay? And he is big, he's strong, he's fast, he tries hard. Like I said last week, I think he gives you his best in every play. Sometimes his best isn't quite good enough to catch the fastest guys, whatever. But he gives you his best on every play, and he's not going to dog it. And he'll fall on the ground and still make a sack before Kenny Clark gets a sack. So, dude, I'll take that guy on my team. Is he worth what they paid him? Maybe not, but he's a good guy, okay? And he's a good guy to have in your team. He's a good guy to build around, and he's the type of emotional leader that the team needs, because the other guys that should be in leadership roles, like you said, are kind of D-bags. They're more me guys. They're not as much team guys. All right. Mama's boys lives matter, Chris Hand says. That's right. Look, Chris Hand is also super excited about LVN. He's wondering what we think about Lucas Van Ness. Lucas Van Ness has been coming on a little bit. Look, here's what we think about Lucas Van Ness. I'll say what I think about him, then you can tell me if I'm wrong or you think I'm right. Lucas Van Ness is a tall, strong, fast guy for his size. He's not blazingly fast for the position that he plays, but he's one of those guys that could be an impactful pass rusher. However, he's got a lot to learn. He's young. He's raw. He's got hopefully growth and strength that he can add to his frame. But he hasn't been that impactful. Let's just be honest about it. He's a number 13 pick, much like Gary was, but Gary didn't get the snaps. Lucas Van Ness is not getting the snaps. So he's not getting as many ops as you'd like to see either from a number 13 pick. I hope they signed Gary for this extended contract. Lucas Van Ness can turn into a superstar, and you can have dominant guys from the outside that you can also place on the inside and put like a guy like Enigbari in there or other pass rushers in there. And then you can just like destroy the other team and have the pass rush shut them down where it doesn't even matter what the coverage is. That's what I hope. But I got to see it. He's got all the athletic ability and tools and skills. Is he that does he have the mindset for football to be a dominant player? That I haven't seen yet. So that's where I'm at on Lucas Van Ness. Yes, he looks great in shorts and a t-shirt. He looks great. Apparently with no shorts and no t-shirt and just a towel. I don't know. I haven't been in the locker room. That's what I've heard.
Whoa, whoa,
But
whoa, whoa.
I'm just saying what I've heard. But I got to see it on the field. I got to see more production on the field because what matters is production on the field. All that other stuff doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Nick Perry looked great in the weight room, right? And that
No,
guy,
he didn't. No, he didn't.
in the weight room, apparently he was a monster. But on the
Nah,
field,
yeah, well, he had
he
a big fat gut, and nah, he
slacked it
looked
and whacked it and was kind of slow.
he looked like an unathletic guy.
Let me say this: LVN and Rashawn Gary much better than Nick Perry already.
Maybe.
I don't know if that tells you a lot, but I'll stand by that statement forever.
I am on him.
Where
I'm
are you?
just like I'm like whatever. I'd rather see Preston. I'd rather see Enigbare out there. Now, I was impressed with, like I said, the second play where he was playing the run, kept his eyes on the running back, got off the block to the inside, and tried to mess up with the running back. Those are good things. I mean, I'd rather see him do that than have him just put his head down and try to beat the guy in front of him and not and take himself out of the play because he's dumb. Right? So that's positive right there. But when it comes to, like, I don't know, he needs to learn some stuff, right? He's got the physical skills.
He's like, what is he, like 21 years old, right? He's
I don't know.
young.
He's the
He's young.
opposite of Enigbare, right? Kingsley Enigbare has got all the moves. The guy's got 27 freaking pass rush moves, right? But he doesn't have the super strength. He doesn't have the super speed. He's just a guy who can do it all. Kind of like Carl Brooks, right? Carl Brooks, 300-pound guy, got some power rush moves, got some swim moves, not very fast, not really even that strong for a 300-pound guy. He's kind of a flabby 300-pound guy. But he makes like one play a game that matters. And LVN is kind of the opposite, where he's all, jacked up freak, and he just relies on jacked up freak. So he needs to develop some sort of move set, and I don't know, hopefully this offseason will be spent more time with that.
Well, I
And
mean,
I don't know.
the other opportunity for him is to, beef up a little bit. I mean, he's a tall guy. He could add some weight to the frame, and if he does, he could be a more reasonable inside player where you could use him as long as it's a fine line. You got to find the balance where what weight can I play at where I don't lose much speed, but I can be more effective playing the 3 technique. Because if you have that versatility from a guy like him, then it does allow you to get your best guys on the field. With Enigbare needs to play. I mean, right now, reality is when you look at it, Lucas Van Ness is the 4th guy at edge on this depth chart, and that's appropriate. Like, I would rather see Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, and Enigbare on the field before him, and he's the number 13 pick. That's not what normal teams would say about their number 13 pick. They want to get his ass on the field right away and have him play and make an impact. So maybe the happy medium or zone for him is put on a little bit of weight, be able to play that 3 technique at times, be able to play edge because you're still fast enough to do it, and allow this team to have a little more versatility with their defensive line group and rotation. And, I could see that being the way it goes. Let's see. David says the boy needs skills. He has a lot to work on for sure, but he has the size and the tools and all that to do it. I don't know if he's ever going to be a dominant player. I don't see that. He doesn't seem dynamic enough to me to be a dominant edge player, and he's not big enough to be a dominant inside player. But, it's going to be up to him. His work ethic. Does he follow Rashawn Gary's example? Maybe Rashawn Gary's example of hard work and team sets the table right for Van Ness, that he turns into that same guy and follows that lead and then really maximizes what he could be for the team. That's what I hope in the end. But right now, I'm kind of lukewarm on him. We'll see what he does. He's okay. He makes some plays here and there, but not nearly enough impact for a number 13 pick that I would expect. Lee says, I think LVN can be better than Gary. Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
I mean, I think maybe he's got a little more size and athleticism, but does he have the work ethic? Is he as into the team and trying to make himself better as Gary is? Because that you can't measure that stuff. And Gary has that in spades. The guy is dedicated. The guy is everything you wish Jair Alexander was. Because if Jair Alexander had the personality of Rashawn Gary, he could be one of the top corners in the league. He could be what he thinks he is. But because he has the attitude he has, he's not. Chris Hand says, what does he got? Long as we can tell he's hungry, then I'm pumped for him. I love when our players have that hunger, fire, attack. I miss you, Clay Matthews. Yep. Hey, hunger and fire. That's all what this team is about. It's a bunch of hungry guys, right? Even when, and that's part of it, Ben. When these guys get paid, you see it all the time. When guys get paid, a lot of times that there's a drop off, right? You got your guaranteed money. You've elevated to Pro Bowl or star status, whatever. And guys just all of a sudden you don't see the same sort of effort. It's not that they're any less talented or any less good, but they don't give the same effort. And a little bit less effort in this league will show up on tape and will get you beat at times. So when you got guys like all these young dudes that are hungry to play versus some of the veteran guys we had and cast aside and got rid of, and with the whole Aaron Rodgers, movement to get him out of town and all the Rodgers guys out of town, we're seeing it. We're seeing guys that are hungry and excited to play, and they're doing stuff. Look at the receiver group, for example. All the way down to Malik Heath and beyond. I'll take any of these guys. I like what they're showing on the field. They're all different, but they all have their unique skills, and they're all making plays, and they all are resilient, and they all get fired up, and they give a crap. Malik Heath drops a ball that was a tough ball because the linebacker got in the way. I get it.
It's a perfect
and then
pass.
a couple plays later, he freaking makes a move and then gets a first down and helps us get the field goal to win the game. Like, damn, all right, Malik Heath, we'll take it. And then when he gets the first down, that ref wanted to take the ball from him. He's like, no, man, I got to celebrate that. I celebrate this first down, ref. Hold on a second. I like the fire and I like what they're doing. What else you got? Let's see. David says we have a lot of different guys making plays when we need it. That's the other key, David, with like 10 offensive players being targeted in this game. Very fun way to play. If you recall, as a Packer fan, we'll just bring you back for a bit. The earlier days of Aaron Rodgers and even Brett Favre, there were plenty of games where there were 8, 9, 10 guys targeted in the game with receptions in the game. That's just a fun way to play for everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the latter years of Aaron Rodgers where Devontae Adams gets 15 targets and there's like nobody else gets hardly any. That's not fun. I don't know. I know in some cases there was some success, but I don't think that was very fun for us to watch. I don't think anybody else really liked it either. But
Brett Favre was never like that. Brett Favre was always spread the ball to everybody. He was just like, "What's that? You got a green shirt on? I'm chucking it at you." That's the Brett Favre way.
We don't
he
even
didn't care
know
who you were as long as you had a green shirt on. Sometimes that's why he threw the Eagles probably more than he should have. Right? He had a couple of picks, but that's the thing about Favre that was lovable, was that he was just out there running around. Now he probably got more credit than he deserved because of that, because he had some really good players around him that didn't get enough credit, like Greg Jennings, Donald Driver,
right?
Antonio Freeman. None of these guys ever became like the all-pro superstar receivers. Some of them made Pro Bowls and stuff, right? But none of them were ever considered like top tier ever. Like they weren't Marvin Harrison's. I think Greg Jennings could have had a career just as good as Marvin Harrison if he was targeted as much as Marvin Harrison.
I agree.
But he wasn't. He wasn't.
Right.
He just wasn't. So,
and that's what would happen with this group of guys. Like they showed the leading receivers, Jaden Reed, on the season with like under 500 yards.
Yeah.
Right. But when you have this distribution of targets and whatever, where everybody's getting involved, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get a 1,500 yard, 2,000 yard receiver with 100 plus receptions. That's not what's going to happen. So it ultimately comes back to, are the guys okay with that? Because it's for the betterment of the team and it's more fun to play that way because they're more about the team and winning, or do they become more about themselves? Because when you look at it all, if you're a guy like Devontae Adams, he had a 100 plus receptions a bunch of years, well over 1,000 yards a bunch of years, 18 touchdowns the last year because Aaron Rodgers kept feeding him the ball, and he got paid. So ultimately, is it to try to get that huge contract to be the ultimate paid guy and get the status and recognition, or are you about the team and winning games and distributing the ball to do exactly what David said, which says when you do it that way, it makes the offense hard to defend.
That's right.
That's the way to do it, guys. And right now, this young team with hungry guys who are just out to make some plays when they get them, that's what you get. You got some video here. Let's check it out. Is this offensive video?
This
Ooh,
is second half Jordan Love's type plays. I don't have, this is the only video I have on offense because, listen, if you want to see good video, go check out JT O'Sullivan. He breaks down all the Jordan Love stuff.
And and you should watch it, because watch how often, like the one thing you should look at, go watch QB School, JT O'Sullivan, and look at when Jordan Love is starting to throw the ball and look at where the receivers are.
Yeah, anticipation.
Look at when it's like, this guy isn't even out of it. And what I'd like to do, and maybe you can do this in your own mind because you remember back to last year, but just remember back to when we had still shots or freeze frames on when Aaron Rodgers was throwing the ball.
Yeah.
He would never throw that ball at that moment. He has to wait until he knows the guy's clear, or the guy's going to do exactly what he thought, or he's not going to be in harm's way to throw an interception. And Jordan Love is like, this is the play. I'm trusting you're going to do what you're supposed to do. I'm letting this thing rip. And it's awesome. It is awesome to watch. All right, what kind of plays you got?
This is the best play of the game right here. This is the fourth down play, the pass to Romeo Doubs that was like lollipopped up in the air, and it looked like it was just a crazy Brett Favre play, but in reality, it was a smart, genius Jordan Love play. And really, this is the play that convinced me that Jordan Love is the guy for us, because it's not just arm talent. It's not just the ability to sit in the pocket when a guy's coming straight at your face and taking it and throwing the ball. It's understanding where the defense is vacating the field, where a guy that I have is going to go to, and where exactly to pinpoint throw that ball, where the guy is going to be and the defender is no longer going to be. And you're going to see that on this particular video here. So when you're going to watch here, Christian Watson is going to come straight down the field on the bottom of the screen. So you got on the bottom, very, very bottom, Wicks came in motion, and he's going to kind of come down and go into the flat. Christian Watson then becomes the number 2 receiver on this play. He's going to do a streaking route, kind of straight, and then go a little bit to the outside and do like a go route to the outside. When he does that move, it puts pressure on 38, the bottom corner at the 40-yard line, and the safety at the 45 on the bottom of the screen to figure out which guy is going to cover Christian Watson, who's going to go with him. And normally on this play, I would think, since it's 4th and 2, Love would want to go to Wicks and read what 38 does. If 38 goes deep with Watson, throw to Wicks. If 38 stays down with Wicks, then you want to go deep to Watson. Okay? But Josh Myers gets his butt kicked so fast, Love does not able to make that quick decision. So what he's looking at here is the safety that's at the 45-yard line. So we can move forward a little bit more. Now, at this point, if you look at the safety, his back is now to the quarterback. His eyes are squarely on Christian Watson, who's running straight at him. 38 at the bottom of the screen is trying to defend both Wicks in the flat and also Watson. If he should come on an out route, he would have to take that coverage, right? But because Watson is on a go route to the outside, The safety also has to worry about that. And then if you look at this hash mark, you see Romeo Doubs coming straight up the hash. So what this play does, it puts pressure on 38 at the corner and the safety at the 31-yard line to cover 3 guys. Those
Do you
two
have the
guys.
Do you have the end zone view of this too?
Just hang on. I'll show it to you in a sec.
Okay, because I'm just looking right now. You're still shot, and look at where Chris Jones is, and look at Josh Myers and Elton Jenkins,
Yes.
and I'm thinking, if I'm Jordan Love, what the hell am I doing right here?
Okay, so what Jordan Love right now he's looking at is this safety who's at the 31-yard line, 21, or I don't know what number he is. I'm circling him around my thing. He's just on top of where Christian Watson is right now. And based on where he is, he believes Jordan Love is like, I have to trust. Now it's 4th down, so this is either going to be kind of like a punt throw, right? Like if it gets picked, yippee, it's kind of like a punt, a short punt, like a 20-yard
Wait a minute,
punt.
but Aaron Rodgers wouldn't say if it gets.
Aaron
picked,
Rodgers
if
would never throw this ball. Not in a
He-
million years. He would never throw this ball.
He'd throw it out in the flat, or
He
do
would throw it
something.
away.
Throw
He
it
would
away,
throw
yeah.
it away. Or actually, what he would do is he would try to make Chris Jones miss and then get sacked.
There
That's
you
what
go.
Aaron Rodgers would
Take
do.
a sack on 4th. Yeah.
He would take a sack on 4th and 2, and yeah. So, yeah. But if you look at here, when you watch this, this is where Love makes a decision right now. He's throwing the ball. And where he's throwing the ball is exactly where 21 is. It's
Because
crazy.
he's not looking at him, right? That's what he
Right.
sees.
He knows he knows because of where 38 is, 21 has to cover Christian Watson. There's nobody left. So he has to vacate Christian Watson, or he has to vacate that zone and follow Christian Watson, which means if Romeo beats the linebacker who's covering him, which he's probably going to, he'll get to that spot before the safety will realize where the ball is. So the ball is, and now if you look you look at the pocket, he's standing there. Chris Jones is 4 yards away from him. Like there isn't a whole lot of time to get that ball off. Boom, ball's gone. Just like that, the ball's gone. It's now actually whatever. And if you
And
look
look at where everybody is still. It's
Nobody's
insane.
moved.
Right.
But if you see 21 is not looking at the ball. Nobody knows where the ball is. There's only one guy who knows where the ball is. You know who it is?
Jordan Love.
Dontavian Wicks.
Oh, Dontavian Wicks. Okay.
Yes, because he turned around and was looking for the ball, and he saw Love throw it. And I'll show you from the other angle what that means. So now the ball, if you look, the ball is actually, if you can see it, I'm circling it. It's at about the 37-yard line, right at the very, like on the Chiefs sideline. I'm circling it up here. That's where it looks like it is. It's actually, in the air, straight up above like the hash mark, right?
Romeo
And
has nowhere.
Romeo is now
No idea
looking
where it.
right. He's looking back this way for the ball, waiting for Jordan Love to throw it. He's looking back. He doesn't think the ball is coming to him. Christian Watson's looking back for the ball, and now 21 is realizing something's up. The ball's gone, and he doesn't know where it is. He's looking over this way. The only guy who knows where the ball is the safety back here at the very top of the screen, and I don't think he can make a play on that at this point.
Right.
But Romeo is looking down. He's not even knowing where the ball is. He's still looking down. The ball is now at the 23-yard line. It's very close to where Romeo is going to be. Romeo is still looking down. He has no idea where the ball is. It's almost on top of him. 21 has no idea where the ball is. The safety back here, I think the safety doesn't know where the trajectory is going to go. He thinks it might be going to Watson. I don't know, because you think he would break on this a little bit better. Maybe he's reading it to break it and intercept it. But Romeo still doesn't know where the ball is. Now he looks up.
Finally figured it out.
He looks up and look down over here. I want you to look at the 40-yard line. I'm going to rewind this a little bit. I think Dontavian Wicks told him where to go. Okay. Watch Dontavian Wicks down here at the bottom of the screen. Because Romeo's looking back. And I think he sees Wicks. And watch Wicks's arms. Look at him. He's like, he's pointing up. And then, of course, Romeo makes that incredible, crazy catch. The ball falls perfectly. Look at this. Right now, this freeze frame. Oh, I didn't freeze it.
And who knows what Wicks said to him on the field, or who knows, he might have just said, like, look up, or who knows what, right? Because Romeo was, like you said, when he turned, you can't anticipate that your offensive line is going to get beat that quickly, that Love's going to have to throw it. And Love had to throw it up because he didn't have any more time. And so Doubs is probably like, well, he's going to throw it to me on a line here. No. He had to loft it up because he had to get rid of it before he wanted to, and it's just crazy. I think JT O'Sullivan showed that too. He takes like 4 steps or 5 steps between looking straight down, not knowing where the ball is, and still running downfield before he finally realized where the ball was. Like he ran like another 5 yards or 4 yards downfield before he figured it out. It's crazy.
And when you look, there's 3 guys all around him. Like Aaron Rodgers would never throw this ball. Never in a million years, because he'd be afraid to get picked off.
100%. Yeah.
Jordan Love wants to win. He doesn't care if he throws picks. He just wants to win. And this was not some dumb chuck it for Jesus Brett Favre stuff. This was, I know the safety's vacating that spot because of where his body language is and where my receivers' routes are leading him. And the safety's going to vacate that spot, and I'm going to throw it exactly where he used to be. And I know Romeo's going to be there. And he gets hammered by 3 guys, gets sandwiched, and still hangs on to the ball. And it's probably the greatest freaking play of Jordan Love's young career. And we'll watch it from the end zone view. You see Wicks coming in motion. He's going to go to the flat.
I mean, it's a terrible set by Josh Myers. What in the hell is he doing? Like,
it's
why
so
is he
dumb
going that
because
far over there?
we have 2 guys here, and I know Jenkins is looking just in case 47 comes to blitz. He's got to keep his eyes this way.
Right.
But Myers oversets too far to this side, and Chris Jones is just like, see ya. And he beats him in a second.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pathetic.
Then Dylan jumps off to the go out. I'm like, help him out, man.
Yeah. Dylan should have stayed up, but I mean, I think he was like, doing his job, I guess. It's 4th and 1.
Right.
So, I don't think he thought that he was going to get beat that bad. Throws it out of his back foot. Look at Romeo. He has no clue. It's crazy.
He's just looking.
He has no clue. There he goes.
Oh, there it is. Let me just wait for it. Oh, my God.
It just gets crushed. But, I mean, what a play. Just amazing play. This next play, I think, is just a run or something. Like I have to do. No, this is the touchdown.
Is it?
This is another. This pass, I think Aaron Rodgers would have thrown.
Yeah, right.
But this is the touchdown to Christian Watson. Just a couple, like 2 plays after the one we just had on 2nd down. And Love goes back. He's throwing it now already. Like he's back ready to throw right now. And Christian Watson is at the 7-yard line, and Jordan Love throws it to the Y.
He's got pressure coming already on the inside, too.
Right. Well, we'll talk about that on the other view. Oh, now he's throwing it. But look at this. Christian Watson's not open.
No.
And this is the same, like, think back to what we watched earlier when Patrick Mahomes was quarterback. And we had Valentine on single coverage on their guys.
He had guys way more open than that. And he
not only that, but like it was single coverage. Patrick Mahomes was too afraid to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's like, I don't care. I got to win. And I'm just going to chuck it. Like that corner had no thought that ball was going to be thrown there because he had such great coverage.
Right.
And Christian Watson went up and took it. Like that wasn't the corner's fault. That was a great pass and a great play. Now I want you to watch Tucker Kraft here.
Yep.
Tucker Kraft is the reason why this play works. There's 2 guys that come straight at him, and he has to choose. And luckily, he takes the inside guy, which is what you should do. And 21's going to come on the blitz, and Jordan Love just has to get the ball off before that. So you see Tucker Kraft takes on this outside blitzer, and 21's going to come scot-free. But Tucker Kraft is doing a great job here on this pass protection. And Love has just enough time. He knows he's got to get rid of it. And Christian Watson goes up and gets it, which is not like something we could say happened earlier. In the year, so.
That's like Christian Watson of late last year. I don't know. Maybe he's just a cold weather guy. I don't know. It's weird because he grew up in Florida, but he loves cold weather.
I just have a couple plays of 2 of my favorite guys on the team right now. Now, when you watch this play, it's just a play action play. It's going to be to Wicks, and he's going to make a couple guys miss. There's a couple things I really love about this play. Number 1, normally when you see something like this, it's like a wide receiver screen, and you see Romeo Doubs has to block this guy, then this guy comes up, right, and he gets them, and then you have to make a guy miss and whatever, blah, blah, blah. On this particular play, I want you to watch right here Rasheed Walker, who, as we know, is not a great guy. He doesn't like sustaining blocks, right? So what do you want to do with a guy who doesn't like the sustaining blocks, but is pretty dang good at getting on guys and getting the block initially? Let's move him to the second level and get on a guy, right? You're going to watch Walker just totally let the guy go, get to the second level, and shove this freaking safety here out of the way so that Wicks can get the first down. This play is a wide receiver screen, kind of, and it's a one-man screen by Rasheed Walker. And if Romeo Doubs is a little bit better on this block, this probably would go for a touchdown. So watch Rasheed Walker. He lets the defensive end go, gets past the linebacker. It looks really weird. And then just shoves that safety out of the way. And he's still shoving him.
It's
It's a little guy. He's just bullying him.
That's actually a good out route. He could almost be a tight end.
I know.
Right
I know. That was
Damn.
pretty good.
Nice flat pattern right there.
But that's one of the things I didn't notice that until watching it later. Because if things happen so fast, you don't really know what's going on, right? But he does that fake in route, goes back. He does kind of run a route, right? It's a one-man screen. It's beautiful. Beautiful job.
Yeah.
And I'll say a couple other things about Josh Myers. Josh Myers has a problem sustaining blocks. And lately in the last couple games, they've done a really good job of making him move out and sometimes take on like the best pass rusher. But he takes him on after the pass rusher already gets kind of like a chip from the tight end. And then Myers comes and helps on the way, way far out block and helps protect for a little bit longer in pass protection.
Right.
And it's actually helped pretty good. Because Myers can get that initial block. He just stinks after like a second or two.
Right,
Or not even
right.
a 2. Like 1 second.
Yeah, he likes to put a shot on guys, but it doesn't go much beyond that.
Right. So you might as well let him move in motion for a little bit, get to that guy, and then shove him after the play's been running for a good second or two. Because then his block means more. And it works out pretty good.
That sounds like the Packers coach is figuring out what their guys can do and trying to actually use them in the best
I know.
way. What the hell's that? That's crazy. All right.
And this is just my favorite play by my new favorite guy. Because now Rasul's gone. And Aaron Jones is hurt. So my new favorite guy is the new number 18. You talked about this play earlier. And it's just Malik Heath at the top of the screen. Doing one of those crazy maneuver juke moves. And this looks like a Madden move right here. Right here. See ya, brother. Look at that play. All one-man move. He just freaking beat 2 guys to get 15 yards all on his own. And that is...
Fish was like, I'll take the ball. Hell no, you're not taking the ball. I got to celebrate my first down, man. That's about one play of the game that I get to celebrate.
He only had one play this week. I mean, he didn't have a 98 grade or whatever like he had last week.
You know what I figured out? Hey, I figured out his other play was the kneel down at the end of the game. That was the 11th play last weeek.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yep.
Okay.
He was in on that play last week.
So anyways, those are I only have like 4 or 5 plays that I put on offense for this week, but you can look at JT O'Sullivan. He does a way better job of, taking the things apart and whatever. But I just wanted to show things that probably you've seen already with the whole, Romeo's not finding the ball till whenever. I think Wicks pointed out to him. I was like, dude, up.
Maybe.
And then he looked up and saw it because he had no clue for the longest time.
Right. This is crazy. On fourth down and 1.5. It's like, holy but damn, that's part of.
I mean, it was
you make those plays, you win games. You don't make those plays, maybe you don't win games. That's kind of the way it goes,
right? And it wasn't just a crazy pass. It was reading the defense, understanding where your guys are going to be, understanding the vacations that guy left there, and there's a big fat zone, empty spot for you to throw the ball, and my guy's going to be there, and it just was perfect luck. I mean, I don't know if it's luck. It was partly luck, partly knowing what you're doing though. And that's the difference between 5 weeks ago Jordan Love and 5 weeks ago now, or Jordan Love right now. I think he trusts his guys. They're figuring it out. I think Jordan Love has seen the field so much better. His anticipation throws are outstanding.
watch QB school, and he shows you all that, like, because they'll go over every throw. And if you think about, like, just picture yourself in Jordan Love's position when he starts to throw the ball. He's made up his mind. So mentally, remember how information works. You decide to do it, then your body executes, right? Then your arm starts to go and all that. When he starts to move his arm, and you look at where the receivers are, where the defenders are, where he's throwing the ball, dude, it's crazy. It's stuff we haven't seen for 10 years. Right? I mean,
This
And-
is some Matt
con-
Hasselbeck stuff right here.
and conversely, just even look in the defensive Packer plays you showed, Mahomes is not doing that same
He
sort of
was
stuff.
not. He was not reading the defense. He was not throwing to anticipation throws at all. He was looking for Travis Kelce to get open, and he doesn't trust the other receivers at all.
Right.
He just doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust them. And when he did trust them finally,
It
threw a
didn't
pick.
work out.
He threw
Yeah.
a pick his first anticipation throw really of the game.
Corey had
And-
this comment earlier. Okay. So, and this is kind of what that leads to, and it brings you right back to it. So, one thing I noticed about Love is he's not afraid to put the ball in tight spaces. Good that he's willing to be aggressive, but I would like to see him make the safe dump down passes. There are a couple of forced tight throws that had wide open short dump throws. Now, here's the JT O'Sullivan's video points this out too. Because when Jordan Love makes some of these throws, if you look at it, you can see the still frame and you see what the defenders are doing. When he decides to throw it where he's going to throw it, it looks very open at times. And then some of these other guys that are covering other guys actually peel off, make it look like a tighter situation. And then that's probably also what makes the dump down look open, because they came off their dump down guy to try to get in on the play. So, but you have to, like, Corey, I get your comment, but when you think about when Jordan Love's making his decision, that defender is still up on that short pattern, and that guy behind him is open. But then by the time, the defender makes an adjustment and then make it look tighter because they peel off and try to do something with it. And that's what happened on most of those plays you're probably thinking about.
The other thing is teams are playing. They're not scared of the Packers' run game, so they're playing off a little bit. The windows to throw in are not very big, and Love has to anticipate those throws. And the thing I've been impressed with is his intermediate accuracy. His deep accuracy, terrible most of the time.
That's his bread and butter, man.
But
and they did it over and over in this game.
13-yard pass, 12-yard comeback route, 12-yard out route, all that kind of stuff is very good. And those are anticipations. Like, he's got to throw it before the guy makes his break. He throws it. It's right on the money every time. And the guy's got to trust that the ball's coming, and they got to be able to, turn around and boom, it's on them, and they catch it, right? And it happens. And yeah, Malik Heath dropped that one on the comeback route because the linebacker actually read it and kind of got his hand up in the way, and I think it kind of messed Malik Heath up. But he didn't he didn't hit the ball, but he got his hand up kind of in Malik's path of view of the ball, and that kind of messed him up. But
100%.
as far as where I was 5 weeks ago and where I am today, I hope Jordan Love keeps this up. I really, the thing I'm most impressed with is his understanding of where the ball needs to go at the time that he hits his back foot. It's gotten better. He's not jumping around and hopping around as much. Earlier in the year, these same plays were there, and he wasn't throwing them. He was waiting for things to develop a little bit. He was Aaron Rodgers-ing it. But for the last 3 weeks, he is hitting his back foot and freaking throwing the ball. And like, my guy's going to be there. I trust him. My guy's going to be there. I trust him. Last week, it was Malik Heath. He did it 4 times to Malik Heath. Before Malik Heath made a break, the ball was out of his hand, and it was caught. And Malik Heath was caught 4 out of 5 passes thrown his way, and was awesome. This week, it was Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs on that play. And this week, Jaden Reed was kind of invisible. Like, he did a couple end arounds, but that was it. Like, we had nothing else going on. But it didn't affect the whole game. Like, his moving around actually did force the Chiefs to kind of adjust and do things, and that maybe opened up things for Tucker Kraft and Ben Sims on a couple plays where they got the ball because they were worried about Jaden Reed running here and there, and then we had Christian Watson on the end around, and that didn't really work, but it kind of messed up the defense and stuff like that. So, those are all great things. So, should we do the silent but deadly here pretty soon, or what?
Yeah, hang on, real quick, because you led me into a couple things I want to get to, which is, and then there's some comments that kind of led there. But yeah, Chris had some good stuff here. Says Love had 0 F's given when he threw that. He absolutely did. And you have to, it's such a stark change from what we've had in Packerland. And even when you watch Mahomes in this game, where he was just looking for his guy and not trusting the other dudes.
Yeah.
And then 0 says Love is Favre and Rodgers without the drama. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see.
I think he's totally different. I think
so too.
I don't think he's like Favre or Rodgers. He is, I think he's more like Derek Carr without the stupid. No, but like, because there's times when you watch Derek Carr tape,
right? He looks great.
There's plays where Derek Carr will like,
when he's throwing the ball on time.
Well, not even that. Like, he'll go through his reads. There'll be a guy in his face. He won't even be looking to the left, but he'll throw it to the left because he knows the guy's there, and he knows based on the defense that there's no defender there. I've seen plays where Derek Carr does that. Derek Carr is smart enough. He knows where the defense is. He knows where his guys are all going to be, and he throws it to where the open guy is. He's done it. I've seen him do it. But I've also seen Derek Carr do dumb crap and just like bad luck happen to him, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Love is the Derek Carr without the bad luck and with a little bit more athletic ability, maybe, who can get out of the pocket, run around a little bit.
Right.
He does a good job in the pocket. Once again, he got sacked twice. One of them, he kind of just went down. And the other one, I think he kind of actually ran into that sack too. But he does, like, how many times did guys get beat in this game? And he got out of it. Like, Sean Ryan came in, Chris Jones schooled his ass, and Jordan Love ran out of there and ran him for a whole bunch of yards. This play where, the fourth down play, what's his face, gets his ass beat by Jones, and and freaking Love gets it out just in time. Tucker Kraft has two guys coming straight at him. He takes the inside guy, smart move. Love waits till the very last minute, throws touchdown. His pocket awareness is beyond what Favre ever had, and it's maybe better than Rodgers, especially at the end. Because Rodgers would always try to get away to try to extend the play.
Yeah.
What I love about Love is he doesn't do that. He reads the defense, and when he feels the pressure, and then he'll spin out of it sometimes, or he'll just throw to where he knows the open guy is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not accurate, but he's doing things that I have not seen Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre do as a Packer fan. And that is encouraging because that works perfect with the Matt LaFleur system.
Which is what we saw. That was one of my most exciting parts of this whole game is I love the offensive plays and game plan, the drives. Like, are you kidding me? Those first two drives in particular, like, that was awesome. That was exactly what I've been waiting to see. Yeah. Those play calls, attack the middle at times, throw short, play action pass. Jordan Love has got the most yards on play action passes in the last 4 weeks. He's got an incredible quarterback percentage on that. It's been working. Like, yes, do it. My goodness. And on top of just some of the things, so much motion, like multiple motions at times. Like, that's why I said off the top of the show, it looked kind of like the 49ers offense. I mean, guys it's crisp. It's purposeful. The motion is purposeful. It's causing the defense to move and do something different and get you in a spot where you can attack a soft spot. It's, to me, I don't know what the situation was. I don't know what prompted the change. Some people asked Matt LaFleur in his press conference. Pete Doherty in particular said, it looks like, with the offense, you took the training wheels off, and Matt LaFleur's like, I don't know what that means. And I don't know what that means either.
He knows what it means.
But I don't know if that's it either. I don't know if Matt LaFleur just finally got all the Rodgers bad juju out of his system. Is like, no. Maybe I'll go back to the plays I used to run that when I came here, I thought we were going to run and just run those plays. Because that's what it looked like. And it worked awesome. And these young guys, bought into it, and they knew what the hell they were doing, and they were productive, and everybody, that was the other part. Everybody was getting involved. 10 guys targeted in this game. That's a fun way to play. So, I don't know, man. I loved it. I loved the offense. I loved the game plan. I loved the execution. I loved how Love was playing. Let's see. They just talked about Dylan had a great day, 71 yards, says David. Dylan did do well. He ran hard.
Can we
He
get
did
to
a
the
lot of
silent
good
but
stuff.
deadly, please?
Silent but deadly is what we got to do now. All right.
Yes.
All right. And then I'm going to end the show with showing you why Ben loves Matt LaFleur. Now I'll tell you why. All right. Here we go. Ready?
We need to have pre-production meetings, I think.
Pre-production. Oh,
Yeah,
well, shit.
because
You
we
got,
like
you
like
got to
to
get
blab
on
and
here
blab
earlier then.
and talk about stuff that I want to talk about later and different things, and then we end up talking about them earlier, and then
All right. Be quiet.
come on, man, we gotta have some pre-production meeting.
And now it's time for the Haefman Bros Silent but Deadly Player of the Week.
All right. Who is it for you?
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon is my silent but deadly player of the game, and I'll tell you why. He silently had 71 yards. He silently had 4.1 yards of carry. Because all anybody's talking about is the defense stopped Patrick Mahomes in the red zone. The defense had interceptions. Jordan Love threw the ball all over the place. Jordan Love. All these young receivers, blah, blah, blah. And AJ Dillon silently got the team in 2nd and 6, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 2s, got first downs on 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, runs for a first down. He silently kept drives alive. Why did we have only 2 drives in the first freaking half of the game that were, well, we had 3, I guess, but the first 2 drives took up a crap ton of freaking time because AJ Dillon was chewing up the freaking ground with everything he could. Was it as awesome and dynamic as Pacheco? No. That's why he's silent but deadly. He had a great game. He did exactly what we needed him to do. Get us the first downs when we need them. Get out there and make some plays. Run over some dudes every now and again. And no one's talking about it. A little bit, but not really. And he's the silent but deadly player. AJ Dillon.
Nobody is talking about AJ Dillon. Zero, some other guys' comments in here. Having the best left tackle in the game is necessary for Love to keep growing. No, come on. We don't need it. We just need like suitable tackles. And I don't know, Rasheed Walker and Riash both had some iffy moments in this game.
Well, Yash had a terrible grade, and Rasheed Walker had a decent grade.
I don't know how, because he got his ass beat quite a bit too. So I was a little sketchy on both those guys in this game. But when you also consider that in, we've talked about the season 6-6, the way Jordan Love has played, the way Jordan Love has looked much better. And Andy Herman finally did this thing where he said he put out a tweet and then had to like backtrack, but still stick to his guns, but do like all of this precursor, cover my ass statements before I finally say the truth, which is the Jordan Love this season is better than Aaron Rodgers last season. Duh. Yeah.
Duh. That's
clear and obvious. Just like if you're going to correct a call, it's clear and obvious. It's not even close. And, but just think about that. And also on top of, think about the factors and variables within that are almost no Aaron Jones almost the whole year. Bakhtiari, he's going to be back. No Bakhtiari. Injuries with other guys. Like, come on. And the youngest team and all first and rookie and second year pass catchers. Like, come on. You should be excited about Jordan Love. He's doing way better than Aaron Rodgers did last year with those circumstances. And on top of it, if the Packers made the wrong move and Aaron Rodgers was still here with what's gone down with this team and the youth and everything they have, you know how many sacks Aaron Rodgers would have taken this year, Ben?
I don't know, 78.
He would have taken a ton because he wouldn't be throwing to those guys like Jordan Love is throwing to him when they're not even open yet. And then when Josh Myers gets his ass beat up the middle or whoever gets their ass beat on the outside right away, Aaron Rodgers be eating that ball.
Yeah, it'd be a sack every time.
Taking the sack because he don't want to throw no pick. You know what I'm saying? So
Jordan
that's
Love
how
has been impressive, man. In
Yeah.
that aspect, pocket awareness
and
and
anticipation.
anticipation
Holy
throws. Two things that Aaron Rodgers does not have. And
Yeah.
God, I hope he keeps it up because it's
Right.
beautiful. It's running the offense. It's running the system. It's getting the ball to the guys who are open, and it makes the defense scared to death.
Holy crap. Look at this stuff from our guys. Zero says y'all should do a Manning style show for this Monday Night Football. Oh my God. And Lee
Well, we
says
used to
I agree.
call games back in the day, Zero.
I agree. Oh
But
shit.
the thing is, it's going to be Monday Night Football with the Mannings. Why just watch them? They already do a Manning style show.
Yeah, but we're better than the Mannings. I mean, we didn't play football. We didn't play quarterback, but I think we're smarter at talking.
I don't know. I think
Mannings.
Eli's hilarious. I love Eli. He's the best. I wasn't much of a fan of him as a quarterback, but since he's
Right.
retired, I think he's freaking awesome.
You liked what's his alias there that he was Chad Powers
Yeah,
or whatever.
Chad Powers. Yeah, that's a great video. when he went to Penn State to cover his 32-year-old student with
He looks so old.
eligibility. He looked like he was 85. Right, he looked like he was like 45. It's hilarious. Chad Powers is gonna run fast. Chad Powers, think fast, run fast. Think fast, run fast. It was awesome. But that's one of those. I don't know. I think Eli's funny. I don't know why Eli hasn't. Has Eli hosted Saturday Night Live? I think he has, right?
I don't know, but he should more than Peyton. That's for. I
Yeah,
know he didn't
Peyton's
have
not
quite
as
the
funny.
same quarterback career, but he was definitely a lot more entertaining.
You know who's never hosted Saturday Night Live
Aaron
and
Rodgers.
really, really, really wants to? Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
He's a D.
Wait, we got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. We got to talk about Aaron Rodgers yet.
Hang on. Silent but deadly. You did yours. Who was it again?
AJ Dillon. Come on.
AJ Dillon.
He's so silent you forgot who it was already.
I had a nice quote from him that I was going to play, but the show's gotten too long. So he said basically how he said right away when he was drafted, he wanted to be a guy that was reliable, that did his thing. It wasn't always going to be pretty, but he could be counted on. And let's give, in a season where Aaron Jones went down, AJ Dillon has had to be the featured back. Emmanuel Wilson went down. They had to get Patrick Taylor back. AJ Dillon is at least available and doing his best and doing pretty good. Which makes me think. And then also when you put that together with the person he is, the guy he is, I think he's going to be back in this team next year. I really do.
Huh?
If he's willing to take, like a reasonable contract, it's certainly with his production and his skills, I don't think the Packers are offering. Well, sure as hell hope they don't offer him like top of the league contract, but whatever. If he's willing to take a reasonable contract for a veteran who needs to make money, his only real chance to make any money, I think he's back in this team next year. That's what I think.
I think the Packers are not going to extend him. I think he's going to become a free agent.
Right.
And then he's going to see what other teams are willing to give him, and it's not going to be that great of deals. And then he's going to come back to the Packers for maybe a slightly less than what he could get on the free agent market, but he'll stay in Green Bay. And it'll be a reasonable contract. And it won't be something where I think he just won't have much of a choice in the matter. What my hope is that the Packers say, listen, AJ, this is what we think we can pay you at this point.
Right.
But we want you to go. If you want to go and see what your best deal is, go ahead. And then I think he'll go out and he'll see that other teams aren't giving much more than what the Packers are willing to give him.
Right.
Based on the fact that he's just not a dynamic player. Like you're not expecting him to take it to the house. And with the way the Dolphins play, everybody I think from now on is going to want a speedster at running back because they're just killing everybody with the speed crap, right? But that's down in Miami. I mean, in Green Bay, in a muddy, type atmosphere with slippery field, we need a guy who's big and tough and can run through some tackles, and that's the guy, right? So,
yeah. And I mean, you got to think Aaron Jones is not going to be back. And then what are you going to do? Just draft rookie backs and Emmanuel Wilson? I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. They have to sign Dillon back, and they have to offer him something reasonable. I think it'll go different. I think they'll go to him and say, hey, here's what we can pay you. And he'll just be like, you know what? I love Door County, and I love Green Bay, and I love being a Packer. And so, yeah, that's fair. I'll do it. And it's probably going to be 2 years or 3 years with like 2 years actually, and then a third year out. and that's all it'll be. But AJ Dillon will be back in this team next year. Mark all our words. My silent but deadly. I think you had him last week, but I'm just gonna say, made some catches, made a lot of good blocks in this game, and there were comments earlier talking about him how they think, they really like what they've seen, and that's Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft, a lot of good stuff in this game. He has taken over the number one tight end role, and let's be real about it as we look at him. He is a better all-around tight end than Luke Musgrave. He just is. He blocks better. He's shifty. He can catch. He's got great hands. He made a couple of nice catches on some lower balls or whatever, and just kept going. He's fluid. He doesn't fall down on his face when he catches the ball. Like, better blocker than Musgrave. Like, Tucker Kraft is a better all-around tight end. Now, he doesn't have the field stretching ability of Musgrave, and as Lee pointed out earlier, I think you need both of them, and you like both of them. And so maybe those were the right choices by Gutenkunst, or Gutenkunst, as some guys will call him now, or Bruin Gutenkunst. But Tucker Kraft, I think again, kind of a quieter game, but he had some plays early that moved chains, kept drives going, and then he had a lot of blocks throughout the game that were key. So he is my silent but deadly player of the game.
Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave should be used as a combination that Ed West and Jackie Harris were. That's what it should be. Tucker Kraft should be the starting tight end, and Luke Musgrave should be the field stretching seam guy who can block and be out there when you need him to be, but his speed should be downfield. We've already talked about this. He's a replacement for Robert Tonyan. They tried to make Luke Musgrave some kind of all-around tight end, and he just isn't, because he doesn't have that quick catch the ball and move ability, where Tucker Kraft does. Tucker Kraft is a catch it and move with it after the catch, break tackles, do stuff like that, where Musgrave is run without the ball and then catch it and trip over your own feet. So you better get downfield pretty far before you catch it. And that's the key thing. And that's what we said when they drafted him. I said I wanted Tucker Kraft. I like Tucker Kraft better than Luke Musgrave. I was happy when they drafted Tucker Kraft. I thought they were going to take Washington and have Washington be the starter and Musgrave be the field stretcher. And instead, they drafted Musgrave and Kraft, and they just made Musgrave try to do everything, and he's not quite as good at that.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think the difference is this: Musgrave is the big play guy.
Yep.
They need to use him as the big play. He's the Christian Watson.
Right.
And then Tucker Kraft is your Romeo Doubs, and except better. Actually, he's more like Malik Heath. So, and that's a guy I'd rather have. Like, I'd rather have Malik Heath than Romeo Doubs. No offense. He's making an awesome catch on 4th and 2.
Right? They kind of all have their place within this offense.
They're all fit, and they're all different, and they're all cool, and they're all doing a good job. And Matt LaFleur has finally figured it out. Why he couldn't figure it out before the season started, I don't know. He had all offseason to work with these guys. He had all freaking preseason to work with these guys. Couldn't figure out what their strengths were. It took him freaking 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks into the season to figure out what their strengths were. Doesn't make any sense to me why I can't figure it out. We knew what it was. I knew what it was from looking at the freaking tape from college. I mean, come on, Matt LaFleur, figure it out. But they finally did. It's
the only concern is with Christian Watson's injury again, then who stretches the field now? And that is the only concern. And that's where if you had Musgrave in there, he could do that part. Zero. God damn it. Do I got to explain white tight ends to you? Why does Musgrave always fall when catching the ball? Because he's white. I mean, it's that simple, man. Well, white dudes fall down. White dudes that are tight ends. So they're not big enough to be offensive linemen. They're not athletic enough to be receivers or running backs or quarterbacks for that matter. They're not aggressive enough to be defensive players. So white dudes that are tight ends, which a lot of them are, they're not very skilled at staying on their feet. They fall down.
Well, the other thing is,
I fell down a lot.
When you catch the ball in motion, you're using like 8 different parts of your brain, right? You're running at full speed. You got to relocate the ball. and then grip the ball, catch it as you're still moving with your feet. Luke Musgrave can't do that. He can stop his feet and catch the ball, and that's what he does. Or he takes a big step in the air and catch it as he can't just run. Like some guys can run and then catch it as they're running and go. Luke Musgrave can't do that. The same thing with Garrett Wilson. That was the thing I didn't like about Garrett Wilson. When they had that ball drill where the guys would just throw it to him and they go on at the combine, he would jump every time to catch the ball. He could not run and catch the ball and keep his run steady and then catch the ball on both sides. Tucker Kraft can do that because he did it in that drill. But Musgrave can't keep his feet moving and catch the ball. He always stops his feet when he catches the ball, which then leads to him tripping over his own feet. It has nothing to do with whether he's white or whatever. It's just he doesn't have the, I don't know. He's not as physical athlete. Yeah, I'm right. I'm right.
You're wrong. White dudes fall down a lot. White dudes fall down a lot. Just watch it. It's historically proven.
All guys fall down.
I'm living proof of it. Anyway,
I'm a white guy. I don't fall. I never fall.
Yeah, but that's because you take short, choppy steps. You wouldn't have been a tight end.
I'm smart. I know what I'm doing.
Short, choppy steps. Anyway,
short, choppy steps, just like Scott Garsky.
Yeah, I know. But so I've been impressed.
Yeah,
with
he was
Tucker.
faster than me somehow. I don't know how.
I tell you, I know it. But I've been impressed with Tucker Kraft's hands. He's got good hands too. I'm impressed. I've definitely, and you're right. Like it just makes the most sense. The guy that should be the starting tight end is the guy that's the most complete, and the Musgrave should be the guy you bring in to stretch the field and use him in the proper roles. We'll see how that happens. David is also concerned with Watson and Musgrave hurt. We have no field stretchers. Packers will have to figure it out. I don't know. I mean, Dobbs isn't quite fast enough to be that. Reed isn't quite big enough to be that. I don't know who does it, but they'll figure it out. So I trust they'll figure stuff out.
There's actually some plays where Ben Sims was actually going deep in. He watched all 22. He was actually going deep in the middle of the field.
First career touchdown. Congratulations, Ben Sims. Yeah. All right, we end the show with this. Is what I said we were going to get to.
Wait,
what else you got?
We got to talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Okay, then we end the show with why Ben loves Matt LaFleur now.
Real quick, Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee yesterday. Now, I want to make it clear.
Make it clear.
I did not listen. I do not listen to Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee ever. I don't know. Good. I've only heard it through other people talking about it. I did hear this quote because I listened to Wilde and Tausch today. And yesterday, Aaron Rodgers said, we have to stop crowning these young quarterbacks and then stop ripping them, of course, and just let them be. Let Jordan Love be Jordan Love is what he said. So here's what I have to think. This is my translation for that is back when Jordan Love was not doing so hot, did Aaron Rodgers say, stop ripping on my guy or stop ripping on these young quarterbacks and stop crowning them? Let Jordan Love be himself? No. It wasn't until Jordan Love started ripping up the freaking league the last couple of weeks here and looking like a madman and having the Packers doing way better than they were last week. And now everybody stop crowning Jordan Love, everybody. I'm still here. I know I'm hurt, but I'm still here, everybody. Stop crowning Jordan Love. Because he started with crowning. Stop crowning them. But then also getting on them when they're bad. But he didn't say anything about don't get on them when they're bad when he was actually bad. He only now says it when he's doing good. Because Aaron Rodgers is a two-faced asshole butt monkey. And that's what he is. He's a jerk. I'm so glad he's gone. He thought that he was going to get traded. He thought the Packers were going to go down the tubes and Goody was going to get canned. And in reality, karma is a biatch, Aaron Rodgers. You played 4 plays, got hurt because you can't get away from the freaking pass rush, and you have no pocket presence whatsoever and no anticipation throws, and the throw was there. I showed it the day he got hurt. I said, throw the damn ball, anticipation throw. He did not do it. Got hit because he wouldn't do the anticipation throw. When you watch the play back, the guy does a cut block. The throw is there. He did not take the throw. He was looking at it.
He hurt himself. He did it to himself.
He
Yeah.
did it to himself.
Yeah.
And the Packers are now doing good without him. Goody looks like a genius. He's still brewing Guten cunts to me because he traded with my favorite guy. But he looks like a damn genius. Matt LaFleur is smiling and happy. The Packers as a team are all rallied around Jordan Love. Everybody's happy. He's one of the guys. They got great leadership there. And now the Jets are a shit show because douchebag had to bring all of his old crappy guys who were on this team last year. Part of the
All
reason
that
why we
salary.
sucked.
That's what I was gonna say. All the salary he brought to the Jets. Holy
All those guys that we knew sucked, and we said, yeah, they can go. And everybody's like, I really think they need to have a freaking, Mercedes Lewis and Alan Lazard are really important pieces. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not. They're not good. Billy Turner sucked. Thank God he was gone for a couple of years, and he's gone. Well, now he's gone for more than that. But just heads up, Aaron Rodgers. We all know you're jealous. We all know you're sad because the pack is good. Jordan Love is looking way better than you, and people are starting to talk about the Packers again. There's a moment there where Packers were not thought about. And now everybody's back on the pack wagon, and you're all sad because people forgot about you. Sorry, Rodgers. Don't crown Jordan Love. We're crowning him. We're getting ready. We're watching a guy do things you can't do and you never have done. And it's better for the team. Because he doesn't care about winning MVPs. He cares about winning games. Bye, Rodgers. That's all I got to say.
It's so good. I think a couple people may have called all this back when it all happened, but
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
what do we know?
This is like the perfect, honest to God, dude. All the things that we've been, it's got to be killing him. That he can't get on the field, so nobody cares.
Right.
The Packers are doing great. Yeah. Love's doing great. LaFleur looks happy. That's one more thing. LaFleur, coach of the year. I mean,
he should be at this point.
I didn't think that 3-4 weeks ago. But he should have won it a couple years ago. Just for dealing with Rodgers shit and winning 13 games. He should have won goddamn coach of the year. Right. And he didn't. And everybody was like, well, he's got Aaron Rodgers. That's why he's so good. No. He should have won it because he had to deal with that asshole. But now he's dealt with the asshole, and now he's winning with the young team and a bunch of young dudes. If this isn't coach of the year material between dealing with the Rodgers shit and now dealing with all the young guys, that's coach of the year. He should have won it years ago, and he should win it this year because he's showing he's diverse enough as a coach to do both things. I was worried about him.
You mean this guy?
He took a shot. Yeah, he took the shot at Wildy earlier in the week, a couple weeks back after the Steelers game.
Yeah, he got a little pissy after a while.
He got a little pissy, and he started, the first time we heard him complain about guys doing the wrong things in the media, he never did that before. Right. The pressure was getting to him. But guys are now starting to do the right thing in the game, and it's showing up on the field, especially on offense. Defense, there's still some guys doing some wrong stuff, but they're young or they're freaking suck. So it's not like a surprise. So
I have the visual. I understand that you're saying all this stuff now, but this is really why this particular exchange, where I think he dropped 8 F-bombs, is why you actually like him more now. It has nothing to do with all the other stuff. It's because he swore so many times in the short speech. But let's listen to a little bit of Matt LaFleur, and I want you to listen to this, and then we're going to go to one other quick video where he talked about stuff and we're going to try to figure this out and see if this is where the Packers are trending, and we really hope so. But here's Matt LaFleur after the game.
Total team win right there. Total team win. And you know what's scary? We're starting to believe. It's one game, and we got to continue to put in that work, because that's why we got to where we got. You guys come to bust your ass every day, all right, and put it out there every day, and then we're going out there and we playing to win. We playing to win.
What do you think about that, Ben?
That's a lot of F-bombs. That's more than me. That one time when I said all those F-bombs and Mom never heard me swear before, and then she came in the room and I had like 7 F-bombs in a sentence that had 10 words in it. And she was shocked and just said, I got to go. And she walked out and left the room. And I had to go out there and say, Mom, I'm sorry. I've been swearing my whole life. I learned it from Dad. Oh, sorry, Dad. It's the truth, though.
But playing to effing win. Now, first of all, he's super boring in his press conference, but he shows all that. Yeah, all that in the locker room. Anyway,
hey,
if
that's what's galvanizing the guys, that's cool.
Playing to effing win.
That's something Aaron Rodgers hasn't done in years.
Yes.
He's only played to win the MVP. And Gronk called him out for it in the offseason. Remember when he said, I can come back. I think I could still win a MVP with the right team. He didn't say I could win a championship. He didn't say I could win the playoffs. He said I could win an MVP. I'm still good enough to win an MVP.
Yep. That is what he
Not
said.
I'm good enough to win with a team. Not I'm good enough to win for that team. Not I'm good enough to win for the freaking fans of that team. I'm good enough to get another MVP. You didn't deserve the MVPs you got. You just screwed Aaron Jones out of being a Hall of Fame all-time player in the NFL by taking away his touchdowns and giving them to Devontae Adams. How many 2-yard touchdowns Devontae Adams have? Barf.
A lot. All right, here's this video. Maybe you saw this, maybe you didn't. I'm not sure.
Oh, I've seen
but
this.
This was you've seen this one?
Last summer. This is last summer.
I know, but the comments are really interesting. So let's hear Matt LaFleur. They asked him, the dum-dum was like, what's it going to take for the Packers to get over the hump? And Matt LaFleur starts out with this, but then watch where he goes with it. And then think about the contrast into how he had to, the quarterback he had before and the way they're playing now.
I think for us, it's just like we talked about earlier. We can't make bad mistakes at those times. I mean, you got to be on your game because the margin of error is so minuscule. You can't have, a play before a half where we give up, a touchdown pass to Tom Brady 2 years ago. We can't have a blocked punt. We can't have a blocked field goal. We can't have a fumble when we're driving.
Fumble.
You just can't make those mistakes in those big time games.
Okay, but watch where he goes here.
And I also think that there's a mentality to this. You can't be afraid to go for it and understanding that, hey, you know what? We may fail, but damn it, we're going to give it our best shot. Mm-hmm. I think that is more of a mentality that we're trying to get everybody. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. Really go for it, because if you don't, then you're probably not going to get there anyways.
What's it going to take for Green?
Never heard that Gronk clip there, Lee. Gronk just said he thought Aaron Rodgers is playing for the wrong reasons. Or he's coming back for the wrong reasons, is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
He said he should be coming back to try to win, not try to get MVP. And he's like, my quarterback, Tom Brady, came back to try to win championships. He didn't care about MVPs. He cared about championships. He's like, he said, Aaron Rodgers, it seems like he only wants to come back to win MVPs, not win games. It wasn't the exact quote because Gronk is dumber than me, so I can't talk in caveman. But if you translate that to caveman, that's what he said, basically. I can't do caveman talk.
What about how Matt LaFleur is talking about that? What about this? I mean, the stuff he said compared to the way Rodgers played. Like, I mean, come on. Is that the way this Packers team is going to play now? Is that what we've seen? That mentality? Is that we're going to play to win? We're going to play to effing win. Go for it. You might make a mistake, but if you don't, and I love that statement and realization that if you don't go for it, you're probably not going to get there anyway. Right?
Well, that's the way it is. If you don't do something, if you don't try, you never do. But also, if Yoda says, do or do not, there is no try. So I guess that makes no sense. I just contradicted myself, but whatever. You got to do it. You got to go for it. You might screw it up, but if you never go for it, you never win.
Go and look at the QB.
Michael Jordan.
Stuff.
I hate Michael Jordan, but he said, I missed, 100% of the shots I didn't take. That's what he said. Which is why I took way too many shots.
Allen Iverson said he missed 110% of the shots he didn't take.
Allen Iverson missed 100%, 110% of the shots he did take. How about the
What'd
Bucks
he get-
last night? How about
what'd
the
he got
Bucks
mailed
last night? Okay, anyways, okay.
146 points, lighting them up.
You're gonna be on TNT in Las Vegas tomorrow night. Oh, that's what I gotta watch.
I watched Damian Lillard's post-game interview, and I was impressed. Like, they just freaking scored 146 points, lit him up, and he's like, pretty serious dude. He's like, yeah, I mean, things are we're starting to get there. We're starting to figure it out. We're starting to figure each other out, but we got things. We left plays out there. We probably should have scored 160, he said. Like, let's go.
That's one thing about this Packer offense. I would like a 30-point game, like a legit 30-point game, not a game
And
where
a 30-point buck.
30-point.
You want a 30-point buck too?
No,
a 30-point buck. My bad.
I want a 30-point game, or maybe a 40-point game. I guess Elton Jenkins said that's the next thing. Like, somebody asked him, "What's the next evolution for this offense?" And he's like, "I think we got to put 40 points on somebody." So, yeah, do or do not. There is no try. I used to have that T-shirt, Lee, and I wore that T-shirt the day I went into my philosophy class to get it signed by the guy so I could cancel it because I had to get out of it because I sucked.
Smart.
I was in
the
for 3
T-shirt.
weeks.
You weren't getting the T-shirt signed, or you getting the?
No. I was getting a paper signed so I could drop the class.
The way you
that
started
was
sounded
back
like
when
you were
I
getting a
would
t-shirt
take. I
signed.
was in college for 8.5 years, and I would take 12 credits so I could still be a full-time student, and then I would drop a class in the first 3 weeks so that I would go to only have 9 credits. It was really pathetic and illusory, but that's what I did for a couple of years there. And one of the classes I dropped was psychology, and I was doing really bad in it for the first couple of weeks.
Psychology or logic?
I don't know. I didn't go to class that much, but I showed up and the guy saw my shirt and he was impressed with "Do or do not, there is no try." Apparently he was not a Star Wars fan, but he thought that meant it was like some kind of epiphany. And he was like, "I'll sign your paper just because of your shirt." And I was like, I don't know if that's good or not, but I'll take it. Cool. And I got out of that class.
The way you were introing that, I thought he signed your shirt.
No, he didn't sign my shirt, but I wore that shirt so much and washed it so many times that it eventually just fell apart. You know, like shirts that when you wash them so much that they just start falling apart.
Yeah.
That's how much I love that shirt.
Great shirt.
It also had like crusty armpits because I wore it so much.
All right. Now we're taking a bad
It was the classic crusty armpits because I used to have, I wear the gel deodorant.
Yeah.
And sometimes you put too much gel deodorant on and then you play basketball and sweat all in there. And then the next day you try to wash your shirt and it comes out and it's all got crusty armpits and a little bit hard on the armpits.
Sounds terrible.
That was the worst. And I ruined that shirt. It was a great shirt.
Great shirt. And
are we predicting the next game already? Are we doing a show Friday?
David's off. We're doing a show Friday. David, we'll save those. But David's early prediction is Pack 31, Giants 19. They're going to New Jersey to play that game, New York-ish, New Jersey, but we'll get to that on Friday night. The other thing we're going to have on Friday night is I'm going to take a little time and I'm going to examine and try to go back to why the hell we didn't listen to ourselves. So we're going to have to face ourselves.
Because they look so bad.
Night. I don't care. We all
they
said
couldn't even get a first down.
We said it, and we're going to face up to it.
Dude, there was nothing to believe in.
I don't care.
Give me something to believe. 3-4 weeks ago, I said, Matt LaFleur, give me something to believe. I said, poison.
We said before the
give
season started, we told ourselves and everybody else how the season was going to go. We told everybody what was going to happen. And then we forgot what we told ourselves.
Give something to believe in.
We forgot to listen to ourselves.
You take the high road and I'll take the low road.
We'll do that in your comments on Friday. Friday show is confirmed. A 30-point buck and a 40-point game for the Green Bay Packers, and the Bucks with 146 points last night, lighting them up. Dame Lillard's doing great. Even Middleton played okay. We'll take it. Go Bucks. Go.
Nobody played defense though.
That's all right. Just make shots, baby. I don't care. They played defense for years, and it
they
didn't
shot
win.
like
It only won one
60%.
championship. I don't care.
Pointers. No, that was good. And the other team did not shoot the 3-pointers that good. That's why. But they got the free throw line like a million times.
Todd's talking ownership. You want a piece of Haven Bros? You want to own some of this, Todd? Is that where you're going? Taking ownership. You do want some. We are taking ownership. That's right. We're going to face our own mistakes.
Yes. That's Lee wants your offensive lineman grades on Walker.
Lee.
Remember when you said Yash was a top 10 offensive lineman a couple of years ago?
Look, you don't want to face the truth on this one, Lee. Yash was after the 2021
What?
season. He
He
played
was
like
not.
he was great.
You watch like 5 guys and then you put Yash in the
No.
top 10. You
I
don't know what you're
watched a
talking
bunch
about.
of guys. I told you between all the tools and where I expected him to go, and then he just didn't go where I expected him to go after playing the way he did that year.
Did you see Quinn Miners got hurt in the game on Sunday, but then he came back. He came back and gutted it out with his gut.
He's awesome. I love
he's
Quinn
the
Miners.
gut.
The Packers had freaking Quinn Miners. I would forgive a lot of things in this offensive line if they had just drafted that guy. Like
Quinn
God
Miners
damn
is
it.
awesome. Quinn
Pisses me
Miners.
off. He was born to be a Packer. He was a ready-made Packer out of the womb. Then he played for Whitewater, and then he kicked everybody's ass in the Senior Bowl, and then he made a video where he knocked down trees and shit. He was a Packer.
Who did they take? Who did they take?
He went in the 3rd round, so they passed over him on him in the.
They took
first.
Amari Rodgers. Didn't they take Amari Rodgers instead of him?
No, that was
Are
it.
you sure?
They took. It was a year after, so they took.
No.
That was the year they drafted Stokes, and then they drafted
and Josh Myers.
And then he went in the 3rd round to the Broncos before their 3rd round pick. Now the Packers are certainly happy to move around and jump around for picks, so they could have got him in the 3rd round too if they would have
Who was their
realized.
3rd round pick?
Some scrubby nothing pants. I don't even remember. They usually don't. Their 3rd round picks aren't usually very good, so I don't remember.
Are sure it wasn't? Are you sure it wasn't him?
It was not Amari Rodgers. It was. Who was it?
Somebody tell me who was it? In the comments.
I gotta look it up because I can't remember.
No, Myers was a 2nd round pick.
Myers was a 2nd round pick, which was. I went back and watched that. I went back and watched our draft from that year to see our reaction to that pick. That was
Sternberger.
hilarious.
That's really old. No, that wasn't Sternberger.
That was hilarious.
Maybe they didn't have a 3rd round pick.
DeGuara, no, he was the year before too. Here a couple of years before. They did have a 3rd round pick. They just blew it again. That's what they do. Fine, I'll look it up. God dang it. Matt LaFleur's case for coach of the year. What make his case, man?
No, it wasn't DeGuara. I already gave it to you. He won 13 games with douchebag Rodgers, and now he's winning with the Pack now with a bunch of young guys. That's coach of the year.
Dang,
he should have won it years
coach of the
ago. No, they need to give it to him this year for that.
God dang it, it was Amari Rodgers. What
God damn it, I'm a genius. I told you. It was Amari Rodgers. We could have had Quinn freaking Miners. And they actually used the 4th round pick to move up to get Amari Rodgers, which means they could have
really
had
drafted. What the?
They could have had Quinn Miners instead of Amari Rodgers.
How awesome he is. God damn, the guy's awesome. Oh my God. I love him.
He's the best.
What was he drafted? Let me just confirm. Was it 21 for real?
Yeah. It was the same year as Myers.
God damn it. He was free. Amari. Are you kidding me, dude?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Was he the next pick right after Amari Rodgers?
No, he was a little bit before him, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'll say this. David, I will say this. I think Josh Myers played pretty good on Sunday, and I think he played better than Creed Humphrey.
Whoa.
Is it Humphreys or Creed Humphrey?
There he is.
Man, look at that cool guy. If that's not a Packer, that guy's a Packer right there. He should be a Packer. This is dumb. Why is he a Packer?
I don't know.
That guy deserves to be a Packer.
God,
John Runyon doesn't even look like a Packer.
Nope.
He just doesn't. Josh Myers doesn't look like a Packer either.
Nope.
This guy looks like a Packer.
It's total Packers. He's a total Packer. He could have his own show. Total Packer.
Yeah, he should.
And he could carry his own show too because he's that.
Heck yeah, he's freaking charismatic, man. He's charismatic and funny.
Damn it.
Can you imagine a team with him and Gardner Minshew on it? That'd be like the best
Oh,
team
how'd you
ever.
feel about Gardner Minshew's comeback and fired him?
Gardner Minshew, man, he's the man. I mean, he got help with 2 freaking block punts, but hey, whatever. You take what you get.
Made the throw to crappy wide receivers at the end of the game. Got it done.
Hey, Alec Pierce, he's a guy I was looking at back in, when they drafted Christian Watson.
Yeah.
They could have had Alec Pierce later on.
If Christian Watson could stay healthy, would always attack the ball, then he might be worth what they gave up to get him. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know. Quinn Miners. If they at least made that one choice, I'd be in a lot better spot on the O line, and so would the team. But whatever. Lee, I don't know. Walker is pretty iffy to me. I'll take a closer look at him and try to give you a decent grade one of these days. I'll make that a priority for myself. Josh Myers, Ben, I still don't believe in him. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, I didn't say it was. I believed in him. I just said I think he
Right.
played better than Creed Humphreys played. I was not impressed with Creed Humphreys in this game.
Well, maybe.
I mean, he made Kenny Clark look almost good a couple of times.
Maybe he just can't handle TJ Slayton, man. Maybe TJ Slayton wore him down, and Kenny Clark looked better because TJ Slayton kind of whipped his ass a little bit.
Remember in the preseason where they had one-on-one matchups in the blocking and all that crap between Josh Myers and Kenny Clark, and Josh Myers kicked his ass a couple times, and everybody's like, Josh Myers is really looking pretty good this year. He kicked Kenny Clark's ass. And I was like, that's not really saying much. Put him up against Devontae Wyatt when he's not tired. When Devontae Wyatt's not tired, then we'll see.
On his first play, rep.
On the first play, yeah, but that's the second rep. He'll suck on the second rep. Devontae Wyatt can only play one play, and then he's got to come out right away, else he gets too tired. But he got a dap from Bill Belichick. We saw it. I saw him get a dap from Bill Belichick after he made a great play in practice against the Patriots this summer. It was awesome.
Now the Patriots,
and then he got so tired after that play that he had to sit out for the rest of practice. On his one knee, sucking wind. Yeah, it was hot out, but I mean, come on, dude.
You're an athlete, technically. You got to have some conditioning here.
Technically. All right, dude. We've been on for 2.5 hours. I got to go to bed.
Go to bed, go to work, say hi to Poppy Pops, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Yes. Are we doing a Friday show? We're doing a Friday show, really?
Yeah, we're doing a Friday show.
Can we get like Rick or Mo or somebody on so it's not just the two of us idiots talking?
Yeah,
try to get a hold of somebody to see if they'll come on with us.
I'll see. I'll try to get Rick or Lucas Patrick. How's that?
I want to see what Rick or Mo's opinion is now that the Pack is on the upswing.
Yeah, we should try to get.
Last time we heard from those two guys, the Packs were in, like, we were in the dumps. They were in the dumps. Everybody was like, they weren't in the dumps, but I mean, the Pack were in the dumps and we were in the dumps. So,
Well, Lee, I don't like this statement at all. Myers is bad enough, yet has upside enough where they give him a decent contract to prove himself long term for a cheap
stop
contract.
it, Lee. He's not coming. He's done after next year.
That's terrible.
Next year, Lee. Don't ever say that again. They're gonna give Quinn Miners a contract after next year.
That'd be awesome.
They're gonna go get him on the free agent market.
I'm pretty sure the Broncos will sign him back, but we'll see. Oh well.
I don't know. You never know.
We'll see. All right, you guys enjoy your next couple days. We'll see you Friday night, and maybe we'll either have a Raider Rick, somebody else to chat with, so it's not just us, and then you guys won't be as bored. But also, we'll face ourselves on Friday night. We're gonna be like Luke when he went into the cave. We'll face ourselves.
All right. I still don't understand that scene. I'm 49 years old, and I still don't understand that scene.
Think about it and give me an answer on Friday. We'll see you guys soon.